College football is not just a game, not just the stars and the plays. It's so much more. The atmosphere, the look, the feel, the noise. And a stadium finally full of fans. Now, the best matchup of the weekend and maybe the year.
He got it! What a catch!
Oh my goodness!
Two top 5 teams with proud pedigrees. Highly touted QBs making their names.
JT Daniels, DJ Uiagalelei. Touchdown! Yes!
Welcome home, football.
This is a statement game.
This is what we do!
The whole package. When Georgia and Clemson clash on Saturday Night Football.
First knocked heads back in 1897. This is the 65th chapter in Georgia versus Clemson, the first in 7 years. This stadium here has been Clemson Tigers' home away from home. They've won 5 of the 6 ACC titles in a row right here in this building. Great to have the skills of Holly Rowe on our team this year, her 26th season covering college football. Welcome, Holly.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm here with Clemson coach Dabo Sweeney. And, Coach, how do you want to see your team take the exuberance and excitement in this building but play within themselves?
Yeah, just got to settle down and everybody focus on doing their job. It's time to play. A lot of preparation. Now it's about doing. All right, so just see them do their job.
DJ has done this job before, but now it's his team. What do you want to see him do well tonight?
Just play within the system and respond. Respond to success, respond to adversity, lead these guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Quest begins for a 7th consecutive college football playoff, and can't wait to see how DJ Uiagalelei responds. Kirky's had a whole off-season to study and be the guy. Preparation isn't the issue, but he can't bring all of Lawrence's poise and experience. Can he, his first game?
I think he played a tremendous poise last year. James Skowski comes back, surprised a lot of people. But, one thing about DJ, 6'4", 250 pounds. And JT Daniels, man, he plays with tremendous poise. Both these guys are going to have their moments and opportunities. And I thought Dabo brought up a good point. Not just about making plays, it's about responding to adversity, because that'll happen.
Clemson's a home team wearing the orange. They won the toss and deferred. Man, last year, he had nothing like this. It feels great. Enjoy it tonight, folks. Zamir White, Eddie McIntosh, 2 running backs deep to receive the kickoff of B.T. Potter, who usually doesn't allow many returns. This one does reach the end zone, but McIntosh is going to bring it out. Runs through 1 tackle, fights hard to get out near the 25-yard line. These 2 quarterbacks, you got JT and DJ from L.A., and they did collide in a very fierce rivalry in L.A. St. John Bosco, Uiagalelei, modern day. JT, this is a playoff game early in DJ's career, and JT had the better of him that night.
Yeah, he is a little bit older, and these are 2 great programs. And you can see that time, modern day, one of the best programs out on that West Coast. Whoever plays quarterback typically has a lot of playmakers around him.
Daniels was the 3rd guy to start at quarterback last year for Georgia. Went 4-0 as a starter and lit up the stat sheet. Looking to throw in the first play. Dumps it off underneath. And making the catch is the true freshman tight end, Brock Bowers from Napa, California. Welcome to college football.
Yeah, they've been talking all camp about him. And take a look at our Chick-fil-A impact players. Zamir White get an opportunity along with James Cook in that backfield with a lot of injuries to receiver. Jermaine Burton, 7. He's got to get vertical and make plays. Brian Brzee, defensive tackle, 11. Last year as a true freshman, made an impact. Now has to go to another level. And 23 rather, Andrew Booth, their top cover man.
And a false start there for Clemson. Tyler Davis, the big man in the middle of that defensive front, not there. Clemson.
False start. Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Clemson won't confirm widespread reports of a positive COVID test, but how much will they miss Davis in the middle tonight?
Well, he's an enforcer, and you can see now we're going to have Row. And one thing about him is he's really worked hard. He came in at about 255 pounds, really known for his high school basketball skills, and he's gotten all the way up to 300 pounds. They said he's improved as much as anybody on that side of the football in camp.
Penalty on Justin Schaefer makes it 2nd and 8 now. Play action, Daniels flips it short again. Second catch for Bowers, and the young tight end making an impact, but wrestled out of bounds after a short gain. That was Malin Spector.
Todd Monken, they're known for their physicality. They want to run the ball tonight to set up play action, but they're expecting an aggressive Clemson defense and a couple play action passes early.
Comes the pressure ball out quickly. Another short completion and a first down catch by Marcus Rosemary Jack Saint. And it's great to see him back, a guy who broke his ankle in the game against Florida last year.
Great point, and good recognition by JT Daniels there. Soft corner on third down, goes into the boundary where he's got an easy throw and an easy matchup with that pre-snap read. Outstanding there by 18.
All the talk about we're going to come off the bus, running the rock, pound the ball, Georgia style. 3 passes to start the game. Zamir White is the back to the left of Daniels. He's got it and has to sidestep traffic in the backfield, able to muscle for about 4.
Todd Monken, as an offensive coordinator, I think he would tell you he has settled in more now this year. He tried to build a new offense with quarterbacks and Dwayne Mathis and Stetson Bennett, who are learning a new system in the middle of a global pandemic with COVID restrictions. Tough thing to do, and then JT Daniels doesn't come on until the last part of the season. Now he's had an entire offseason to build this offense around Daniels. He knows the players better. The players know him better. So Georgia's confident that they're going to be much better with Monken's offense.
Another flag pre-snap.
Yeah, Clemson bouncing around quite a bit up there.
Delay game. Defense. They signal a clap. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
SEC crew today, that's Jason Ottery. You don't see that called often.
No, it's James Skalski. Sometimes you yell, move, move, to just try to get the offensive lineman to jump. In this case, it was James Skalski who's clapping his hands. It's an indicator for the defensive lineman to stunt, to move, and bounce around. But the officials clearly thought he was trying to get an advantage there, and that's why they called the penalty.
At age 23, he knows every trick in the book, the old man of that defense, but he got caught that time. So on 2nd and 1, he handed off left side, and barreling is James Cook. It'll be running back by committee. We'll see White, Cook, and Kendall Milton, who might be the most talented of all of them.
Yeah, they will mix it in, but that time, let's give an assist to the offensive line on that left side. Really good job of getting their hips turned. Schaefer, 54, probably the toughest lineman, does a good job.
Dogs playing with some tempo, and Daniels is not a runner. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. Consider that a win before Trey Williams tracked him down.
Todd Monken taking a page out of the book of Ryan Day. Remember the last time we saw Clemson? It was a lot of confusion. Ryan Day and the Buckeyes, they got physical at the line of scrimmage. They mixed their tempo, they mixed their formations, and caused problems for Venables in the communication. They've worked very hard on trying to improve that, but Todd Monken trying to test him here early after that first down.
Pitch on the edge here to Milton. It's kind of a tricky thing, isn't it? You're not really a tempo team. You know the other team has a problem with it on defense, but how much do they employ that tonight? It's not really their MO.
No, it's not. And you don't have Justin Fields. You don't have the same offense, and it makes it a lot tougher to do. And you can see they're trying to get these big linemen. Look at that defense fly. I mean, that's their strength. It's tough to run wide on them because of how quickly they can move sideline to sideline. See, now Brent Venables likes to get the call in late as he can, and that's the kind of the cat and mouse game with an offensive coordinator and a quarterback going up against Brent Venables. He likes to see that last formation you're in and then make the adjustments with his communication from the sideline.
Daniels running out of time here, Kirk.
Yep.
They just got the snap off. 3rd and 8. Got to get protection. Flips it short. Milton's got work to do, and he's not going to get anywhere near the marker. Spector knocked him down, and it's 4th down.
And they're able to get some pressure there, just enough with 4, and they just sat back in zone on 3rd down and long. They're just trying to make him dump this ball, take everything away downfield, and then rally to the football. Good job by Spector. And you can see, again, that defense can fly on that side of the ball.
So Georgia moves the ball 27 yards, and now we'll try to pin Clemson deep. Jake Camarda, preseason All-American punter, just drops the tip. Boots it high, and it bounces and spins backward. That's what you hope for when you kick the football that way, and the coverage team able to down it right near the 10-yard line. And the concern there, it's Tate Ratledge, the guard, who's on the cart for those Georgia offensive line starters. DJ Uiagalelei and the Tigers offense will take over for the first time, but pinned back at their 10. We haven't hand counted. We think the crowd's about 55% Clemson, 45 Georgia. AT&T 5G Skycam there. You can check out the AT&T 5G Skycam Skycast streaming live on ESPN3 and the ESPN app. Georgia folks trying to make some noise as Clemson's first possession begins from the 10. Kobe Pace is the back behind DJ. Justin Ross in motion. Pace, men in the backfield, spins free, gains a couple, but it was very quick penetration by Nakobe Dean.
How about Dan Lanning deciding to bring heat? Watch the backers, both the backers here on the early down, anticipating inside run and able to slip through there. Keep an eye on 17, Dean. He is the leader of this defense.
Top tackler a year ago. And there is Will Shipley, highly hyped recruit from the Charlotte area. Excellent receiver. And foul batted down to the line of scrimmage. Getting a big hand up was Devontae Wyatt, the sophomore.
A little pump fake, just trying to get this defense to bite on Justin Ross, who's coming underneath there on like a screen. Defense does a good job showing discipline and a big hand to get up there and knock it down. He's trying to, after that pump fake, get it to Davis Allen across the middle. He was breaking free. He had a nice spot there in the back of that zone, but give credit to that defensive line.
Need 8 on third down. Dogs rush 3, drop 8, and they still get pressure and sack him at the 3-yard line. Nolan Smith knocking the big quarterback down.
It's time for Nolan Smith to take his pass rushing ability and go to a different level. That was the hope, and that was the expectation. In the first third down of the season, he gives Georgia fans a taste of what's to come. One-on-one against Jordan McFadden. Good coverage, by the way, downfield that eventually allows Smith to get home and come up with a big sack.
Coach, when you get a 3-man sack against an offensive line, that is an ominous sign.
You're right.
Will Spires, super senior in his 57th career game, gets off a booming punt. And Kyrus Jackson, not maybe fully explosive. He's still got that brace on the knee, but he's able to take the return in there before the tight end.
Yeah.
Davis Allen down.
Covering punts.
Big stick.
Up in the wood. Big Davis Allen. Wow.
The Duke's Mayo Classic on ABC is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Walmart. Save money. Live better.
The two energized fan bases made a home of the Panthers feel like a college campus. Very, very festive scene here. Beautiful weather. And these folks have waited a long time, as you have. I want to say happy birthday, Kirk, to Coach Vince Dooley. He is 89 years old today. Guy who was 4 decades between coach and AD at Georgia, won that championship in 1980. Watching the game tonight in Athens.
Happy birthday, Coach. What an incredible career.
He's happy about this old school exchange of punts, Kirk, that's got Georgia set up in Clemson territory for their second possession. They think it's a White. Daniels' ball slipped out of his hands. I don't know if he was trying to pump fake it.
Yeah, he's trying to get the ball again to Brock Bowers, the talented true freshman, and I don't know if the ball slipped or he just tried to pull it back. It looked like he was maybe trying to pull it back. Didn't maybe want to let it go. He starts to kind of decel a little bit, and the ball just continues out of his hand. Incomplete.
Brent Simpson was in his face there, applying pressure. His first incompletion after a 4-for-4 start. Play action up. They fooled the defense and they slip it back here to Ladd McConkey. And he's a freshman. They expect to play a role. It's a depleted Georgia receiving corps, Kirk. They don't have George Pickens or Dominic Blaylock for a while.
Yeah, it was funny. I was talking to Kirby about that on the field before the game, and he said, keep an eye, I'm telling you, man, 84. He's a former walk-on. We're going to put him in a slot. Probably one of the fastest guys on our team, and he's got some wiggle. I just hope he's able to hold up, in the bright lights. And got a little taste there of what he can do. Another third down for Georgia here.
Seen 2 true freshmen catch passes so far for the Dogs. Cook goes in motion. They swing it to him. A block on the edge, but not good enough. Fighting through that block was Simpson. And Booth over there as well, and it's 4th down.
What an effort there by Booth. He's a corner with great length. He's known for his ability to cover. He's way out here. 3rd down, right? Watch his eyes. Watches how quickly he's able to come up and gets off that block and makes the play.
Kirby Smart feeling like a mini gamble here. He's got the offense on the field. They need 3 full yards. Got to get inside the 40. See if it's a bluff. Eagles moving around, directing. Clemson showing good discipline so far. And now the play clock winding down.
And the way their defense looked in that first series for Georgia, I'd play field position here if you're Kirby.
Well, they tried to get the cheap 5. Clemson wouldn't bite.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's a world of analytics, but you got to pull yourself away from analytics for a second and just think about trying to pin them the way they did the last time and turn that defense.
What are you saying? You ignore the analytics in the book?
Yeah.
How dare you? You can't do that anymore in modern football, can you?
Two top 5 teams in a game, week 1.
I thought analytics was the Bible.
You got to follow some instincts mixed in with some analytics. Until that defense gets the ball moved on them, I keep trusting them with the ball pinned back deep in Clemson territory.
Camarda again, interesting punt return. This is Will Taylor, who is a backup quarterback and also a receiver. He got out of the way, and absolutely perfect execution again by that coverage team.
That's what you do, honestly. I mean, that's the 2nd time we've seen great special teams. This game just has a feeling that it could be a low-scoring field position kind of game.
We're getting analytics. This is old school tonight.
It's all right.
Tony Elliott, Boyles Award winner, very experienced. Kirk, what are his challenges as a play caller tonight?
Well, line of scrimmage, not to mention where the field position's been his first 2 series. He's got to find ways to get quarterback run game and get the ball on the perimeter away from that strength of the inside of that Georgia defense.
Uriungalele 3 yards deep in the end zone to receive the snap. Has time. Launches downfield, and a battle on the edge. Overthrown. Tried to get the ball to Justin Ross, and a couple of flags come in. Ringo is in coverage.
Yeah, Ringo's a true freshman with great length at 6'2", 205 pounds. He got handsy there near the end of the route, pushing.
Pass interference. Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
First of all, you said, what does Tony Elliott have to do? And he's backed up deep inside his own territory. You can see the left hand clearly. Almost the entire route. He's getting that left hand and grabbing, hooking. That's what they call it, and Clemson catches a break. But the guts there with a young quarterback against this defense to call that shows you the confidence they have in DJ.
Great to see Justin Ross. He lit up Alabama, the 18 championship game, had a good 19, but then out all of last year, a pair of spinal surgeries. Many thought he would not ever be able to play again. Was only very recently cleared for contact.
Incredible story. Dabo Sweeney jogged in at the top of the screen to try to get a timeout. He didn't like what he was seeing.
He did get that timeout. Yeah, the discomforting thing for Elliott, you mentioned it.
Timeout. Clemson.
You can take downfield shots, but if you can't block the dog's front, it's going to be a long night.
You don't want it just to be about the vertical pass game. And with the length they have at receiver, the days of Amari Rodgers last year, Hunter Renfrow before that, they were able to kind of work into the teeth of a defense. It's tough to do that with most of these receivers that are 6'3", 6'4", and taller.
Holly, what are you hearing down there?
Well, guys, you talk about Justin Ross returning to play football. He had a congenital spinal issue that he never knew he had until one day at a Clemson practice he got hit and he just had a stinger. The consequent surgery was 2 different times they had to go in there and fuse those discs in his neck. He has been with a doctor that was working with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they said, it's just kind of a miracle that he's even able to play. They've never seen a football player playing with 2 different fusions. But the doctor said that he is cleared to play. Justin and his mother made this difficult decision, and Dabo said it was all up to them. He wants to be out here on the field with this miraculous injury and healing.
1st and 10. Play action, and they get it to Ross on the edge. The guy has 112 career catches, but thought he was all over it. Isn't that amazing? If they hadn't had that routine medical checkup for the stinger, they would never have found that congenital problem.
Yeah, I mean, he had it his whole life. Think about that. I mean, you're one hit away from this thing being really, really bad. So he's fortunate that they were able to catch it. And then the procedure, it was a 50-50 chance. They told his mom and he, hey, we're not even sure it's going to work, but it's 50-50 chance you'll be able to play football again if it does. And it's worked out.
Second and 4, play clock winding to 5 seconds. Dogs crowding the line now. That pre-snap chess match. Here comes the pressure. They pick it up on a pitch outside. Try to get it to Russ. Not on the same page. And Darian Kendrick, the former Clemson Tiger, had some problems there. Now with the Dogs is on the field there.
Dan Lanning, the defensive coordinator, along with Kirby Smart, have come up with an idea, Chris, that they want to move around. Look, he calls the play, gets everything set, and then you see Dean hop in there. No, let's move around. Let's constant movement, effective communication of the offensive line, and then get a push up the middle led by Jordan Davis.
Need 4. Keep the drive going.
See the movement there.
Here comes the pressure again. Uyunglele sack for a second time. They heated things up, and look out for Nakobe Dean. He's going to have a monster season. 17's a problem.
Yeah, 17 and 7. They're very active with these inside linebackers. You're going to get pressure here. You're going to get pressure here. And watch the offensive line step down, and they're just overwhelmed on that right side. There's just not enough bodies there. Dan Lanning is dialing up pressure and dominating the line of scrimmage with his talented front.
So DJ's had a pass knocked down at the line and been sacked twice. First 2 possessions combined, -5 yards. Spire is under some pressure, gets another good punt away. And Kyrus Jackson retreats to make a fair catch at the 36-yard line. So they got a little bit of field position thanks to that pass interference call. Holly?
Well, guys, JT Daniels, the Georgia quarterback, has had a very unusual trajectory. He was a high school star in Southern California, honored at the ESPN ESPY Awards, was a huge deal going into USC, but things just didn't go right. 5-7 in his freshman year. Then the very first game of his next year, he tore his ACL. Subsequently felt like he needed a new start, got beat out a little bit at that position, and here he is cross country at Georgia. Said, I've struggled a little bit with this adversity. I did well with success, but it's been tough. He sought out some help for his mental health, and guys, he is in a really good place right now.
And bursting up the middle there is Kendall Milton, picks up 8.
It's incredible. We had some sound this morning with Kirby Smart on College Game Day, and we showed him talking about seeing a sports psychologist and what a big difference it made for him, because it's one thing to be a 5-star, it's another thing to deal with that adversity.
Well, he got some adversity there. Coming off the edge quickly was Trenton Simpson, and Daniels had to just throw the ball into this brand new field turf here.
Yeah, and one thing when you have a quarterback in college football today that's not real mobile, makes it obviously easy. That's a good job by Simpson staying home and anticipating that boot. But you're more of a distributor. You know, a lot of these college quarterbacks, they can create, they move around, they're a threat. The defensive coordinator has to worry about them creating. That's not the case with JT Daniels. So it allows Brent Venables to attack those running backs, take a few more risks, because they don't have to worry at all about 18 taking off and using those legs.
They're going to have to hurry unless they spend a timeout here. It's 3rd and 2. Yeah, you don't want to hurry this play. And they took a long time. Daniels checking the sidelines.
Timeout. Georgia.
You say
First time out of the half.
Pre-snap, he's elite. But is he a little bit too analytical with the ball in his hands when the bullets are flying? That's the question, Kirk. Can he process fast enough?
Yeah, well, and people forget. You think you just saw Holly showing what he's been through in his timeline. He's still a young guy, relatively speaking, as far as reps in a game. I mean, he had a season at USC. He gets hurt early, ends up transferring. Last year, just 4 games. So I feel like we're in the middle of watching him develop. So we're learning as we watch.
Yeah, the 4-game set, 3 of the weaker teams in the SEC at the end of the season. And then the best defense he played was the Cincinnati Bearcats in the bowl game when he played well. But it's hard to extrapolate that 4-game capsule into an entire season and think he's going to light it up. Many think he's the best quarterback in the SEC, though.
Yeah,
Bryce Young may have something to say about that.
But again, because of his skill set and lack of foot speed, he's the epitome of he's going to be as good as the players around him because of that, the ability to distribute and make quick reads.
White is the back. He's got it on 3rd and 2. He slipped down, and there's a flag pre-snap.
Yeah, Georgia had movement on the left side.
It's actually a break. He wasn't going to make the first down.
False start. Offense, number 83. 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, we've seen evidence, Kirk, of what it's like. Again, it was muted. They didn't play in front of crowds last year. It is incredible how new it is for so many players tonight to play in front of a full house and this kind of energy in a big game.
Right? Yeah, it's true. And I think even tonight, because of a mixed crowd, it's going to depend. There's Matt Luke, the offensive line coach, but it's going to depend really on which side of the field you're on. If you're looking from our monitor, game monitor, to the left is where most of the Georgia fans are. So when Clemson's had the ball, they essentially have felt like they were on the road in front of that Georgia crowd.
Kenny McIntosh goes in motion out of the backfield. Daniels is looking over the middle and airmail to try to get it again to the tight end Brock Bowers, and a flag comes in right in the middle of the pit there. See if they grabbed him.
And may have grabbed over the middle, like a safety actually got up there and got his looked like Jalen Phillips.
Pass interference, defense, number 25. The ball be placed, good spot on the foul, automatic first down.
Good spot, that's who it is.
Yeah, and he really didn't even need to do this. And they're playing zone. See 25 right there, just grabs a hold of it. And the ball, I don't think it had a chance because of Skalski being there, but the Dogs catch a break on third down and they come up with a first down.
Ball right at midfield. And a slow developing running play and a swarming defense. Brian Brzee, the sophomore, sitting up for a monster season, made the tackle for loss.
Yeah, he's on the right side of Georgia's offensive line. He's right here. He'll fight his way through. But look at the backup here. Remember, we don't have Tyler Davis, so Trey Williams also getting some reps. But both inside tackles that time, getting vertical and getting penetration, disrupt that play.
Both defensive fronts controlling line of scrimmage against the opposing offensive lines tonight.
And both these teams need to run the football. I mean, Georgia prides themselves on winning the line of scrimmage and running the football to set up play action.
Behind the 6, 2nd and 13, they swing it in the flat to Cook. Again, Daniels getting the ball out quick. These are very, very short gains. Yeah. Spector stopped them.
And I think you very astute there. I mean, the ball most apart tonight, ball is out. I mean, you're talking a second and a half, ball is out. They're very respectful of the pass rush. Brent Venables, who usually mixes things up, he'll play a ton of man depending on who he's playing. Tonight, he's trusting that front to win, playing a lot of zone, trying to give JT Daniels different looks, not give him those easier looks of one-on-one matchups. More zone here, too.
7 completions for 30 total yards. On 3rd and 7, Daniels has good protection. And once again, it's that tight end. Brock Bowers is open. He's got 3 catches. It's a first down at the 35.
Yeah, and nobody's across from him. Easy release this time for Bowers. And he's dropping a defensive end, but that's an easy pitch and catch. Again, going back to what Todd Monken says, good recognition, pre-snap read. He knew as soon as he got the football that he was going to go to the talented freshman, and Clemson made it easy on the tight end by not rerouting him or jamming him at the line of scrimmage.
Get that Cali connection tonight. LA to Napa. He hooked up 3 times. Dogs do a good job recruiting in California, by the way. Get a nucleus of offensive players from the Golden State. Wendell Milton is one of them from Fresno. Now with Zamir White, who knifes, and they say Zeus.
They pick up a couple first downs and go back to their bread and butter running the football. Looks like Brian Brzee, 11, is down holding that. Looks like he's holding that right arm, shoulder.
Would be a serious concern. Brzee and Miles Murphy, number 98, both had excellent freshman seasons. They expect them to even take a quantum leap forward in their sophomore seasons tonight. And again, playing without the veteran Tyler Davis, not on the available list. Reports of a positive COVID test.
Boy,
big fella grimacing.
Yeah, I think he knew. It wasn't like he got pounded into the ground. That was while he was being blocked by Erickson. He almost gave up in the middle of the play and started to want to take a knee. You know, he's right in the middle here. Watch as soon as they hit him, he just kind of says, "Oh," kind of checks out. And this guy is as tough of a guy as there is in college football.
7th play of the drive. 2nd and 3. White. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard-earned yards with the running game tonight. He dives down short of the marker.
They're really going to test the depth of the interior. Remember, Tyler Davis already out. We've seen Brzee check out, so now Trey Williams is in there. Darnell Jeffries is in there 90, but they're really working with trying to prove that they've got enough depth to hold up in the interior against a very physical Georgia offensive line. Tyler Davis and Brzee, you could put them in top 5 maybe as inside defensive tackles.
On third down, ball came out. White fell on his own fumble, and they do move the sticks. Lamonte Bentley made the hit.
Bentley drilled him. Ball came out, and you're right. After this big hit right there, puts his head right, face mask right on the helmet or the ball. The ball just happened to bounce right back to him. Or that's a Clemson turnover. Good job of filling there by Bentley, but another first down. Georgia, it's like a boxer sees that there's a cut. They start to see that they've got a matchup advantage in the middle. They're going to try to run that football in the middle of that defense.
These are body shots. You want to keep the analogy going here. Yeah. Georgia's run 19 plays. Clemson 6 so far. Daniels flips it one more time. It's the tight end Bowers. Does a good job to slip a tackle. Fights for a couple yards. Skowski eventually got him.
Fortunate today with Darnell Washington out of the lineup, and got a young freshman, Brock Bowers, who, as I said, was a big story in camp. Sometimes players emerge. Oh boy, now we have James Skowski, the leader and veteran.
He's got that right arm hanging down.
Yeah. But anyway, Bowers emerged, and very fortunate for Georgia's offense to be able to have him.
Washington, very tall, athletic tight end, is a real weapon. He was in the walking boot before the game. John Fitzpatrick, another veteran, he'd been hampered in camp. So number 19 had to step in, and he's showing why they were so excited about him in Athens. Skowski made the tackle.
Thing about Skowski, I mean, we kind of were talking to him on the Zoom about when he gets into contact, he lowers his head. He's been thrown out of a number of games because of that, and I hope he's okay.
Yeah, the last 2 CFP games he's played in, ejected for targeting. Milton is the back now and shaking at 8.
Jake Venables in the lineup down the middle there.
Final minute of the first quarter. Daniels, downfield shot over the head of Ladd McConkey. Had him open. That's the first time they've actually tried to press the ball.
Yeah, I mean, and again, they were able to get behind, right behind Goodrich, front of the safety, really a tight throw. Not a real tall receiver. Tries to go up and make a play on it. Pretty good throw, but again, you're trying to squeeze that in there between a corner and a safety with a shorter receiver. That's a tough ask, and James Skowski gets back in the lineup.
Yeah, a short slot receiver, not the ideal guy to throw to down there. So Skowski, a leader in the middle. Tigers on 3rd and 8. Back off a bit. End zone throw. Battle on the edge. Flag comes out. Donnie Mitchell was defended by Mario Goodrich, and it's going to be pass interference.
He threw it right away, and Daniels timed to throw the football. We wondered if that would be the case, especially in obvious passing situations. I mean, he just closes off the route. Goodrich doesn't allow him to go downfield.
2 fouls on the play, 1 by each team. Holding, offense, number 54. Pass interference, defense. Those fouls offset. Replay, 3rd down.
So Justin Schaefer penalized for the 2nd time tonight. It's a break for Clemson. Nullifies the pass interference. And it'll be 3rd and 8 again. Bill Lamagna, great to have him in the booth as our rules expert again this year.
Great to be back with you guys. I actually, looking at that play, thought the receiver was more guilty of contact and a push-off than the defense.
The offsetting fouls. And Daniels rolls, dumps it short, and short of the first down. Catch made on the edge by Jermaine Burton, so it's 4th down. They'll need about 2.
Real quick, Bill, I want to ask you, if the corner takes away the ability for the receiver to run the route, just kind of closes it off, and the receiver runs into him, is that on the receiver or on the defensive back?
If he steps right in front of him and there's contact, it's nothing. But if he's there and the receiver continues to push off, then it's going to be on the receiver.
That's what you thought maybe was there. Okay.
Another flag to sort out on this play.
Offense, number 59. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot.
It's Broderick Jones, inexperienced right tackle. So once again, that Georgia offensive line guilty of the infraction. It's going to be
Chris, I think
declined.
I think they ended up calling it, poor guy. I think it was actually Saylor, the left tackle, who snuck downfield. They ended up calling it on 59. So
having some confusion on where to snap the ball.
There is.
See, they'll put it back the 27-yard line. Should be 3rd and 13. It was 3rd and 8. Seconds ticking away. Doubtful Georgia will snap it before the end of the quarter, and they don't. So defense is in control. Georgia owning field position and an edge in total yards of 70 to -5 after 15 minutes in Charlotte. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Set for the second quarter, the Duke's Mayo Classic on ABC, presented by Capital One. NFL off weekend, so Trevor Lawrence was on the sidelines pregame, now sitting in the stands. Jaguars and the Texans open their season. Dogs need 13. We keep the march going as we begin quarter 2. Tigers not showing pressure. Only rush 3. Daniels underneath. Sliding catch short of the first down is Burton.
Has a full field read. He works from his left, comes all the way back to his third option. Those linebackers cleared out. Watch him look left, come all the way back to the right. And again, he's got a couple receivers. He finds Burton, who settles in right in the middle and gives his kicker a much easier attempt here for the 3 points.
Your 2 solid kickers tonight for the Dogs is Chad Podlesny. Jack kicked a 53-yarder to beat Cincinnati. A virtual walk-off field goal in the Peach Bowl. And hooked this one. Hooked it. And a 45-yard drive produces nothing, and we're still scoreless. Just want to talk about how reliable.
I know.
MVP of the Peach Bowl. Hooked it badly.
Yeah, I mean, the hold looks good. Yeah, he just hooked that. By the way, by missing that field goal, Clemson, who, by the way, in the first quarter ran 6 plays. They had 3 3-and-outs. They have 6 yards of passing so far. Total yards -5. And they're going to start with their best field position of the night, starting at the 20-yard line.
Let's see if Tony Elliott can find ways to get Uiagalelei a little comfort, get the ball to the playmakers.
He's going to have to run the ball tonight, Chris. He's going to have to run.
He's a big physical guy. They get up to Shipley. In his hometown, and he is tracked down and dropped behind the line of scrimmage by Channing Tindall, the money backer.
Tindall can fly. These linebackers can fly. Right here in the middle, it's Tindall from the backside who's able to read it right away and anticipate and then take off. Nobody is there to be able to pick him up because I don't think they expected that kind of speed running sideline to sideline.
This is Saban protege. I love the name of some of the positions here. Money, Jack, Max, Star. No boring position names. Uiagalelei dumps it short. Ross is grabbed and fights free, but picks up a few, and now it'll be 3rd and long.
Right now, because they can win at the line of scrimmage, and these backers are active, there's no fear of anything downfield. And it's allowing the safeties and the backers to let the ball be thrown in front of them on these quick, short passes and then use their speed to chase the ball down. I don't think just watching this, you don't feel that these corners are overwhelmed or intimidated at this point in the game by these talented Clemson receivers. They have length, but I don't know if they have the speed to strike fear in this Georgia defense.
Both Dogs' sacks have come on 3rd down. They don't bring heavy pressure this time. Shipley makes the catch, slips a tackle, and the freshman picks up a first down for the Tigers. Their first. He got out of the tackle of Dean that time.
Yeah, you got to make a play like this. He's a running back he's a playmaker. He can do things like this in space, and he's got physicality to be able to break off of a tackle. An outstanding high school player right in this area. Went to Weddington High School, one of the top high schools in this state, and was an outstanding player, great lacrosse player. So, he's fired up to have his first game in that uniform right here back home.
40 touchdowns last year in his senior year, 2,000 rushing yards. DJ's got it. Rolling. And now just scampering out of bounds. He was chased there by Christopher Smith.
You know, I keep going back to this because when Chad Morris first came here and they had Taj Boyd was a factor that defenses had to account for, whether it was scrambling or creating running plays within a zone read or a quarterback keep. And then the baton was handed to Deshaun Watson. Same thing. He didn't run all the time, but he ran enough to make you have to respect it. Same with Trevor. And you would think with DJ, you're going to have to see more of that to make the defense realize he's willing to be a runner.
And the bigger the game, the more the quarterback ran for Clemson, right?
Yep.
From the pocket, gets it out over the middle. Caught on the slant there is Joseph Ngata. And the Tigers got something going now in Georgia territory.
And it just feels like a little bit more urgency. And now they're really cranking the tempo after this first down, trying to get this Georgia defense on its heels.
Ngata, another guy who was out injured last year, showed his talent as a young guy, expected to be a big part of this receiving core this year. Messed up the snap. Uiagalelei lucky to field it on the bounce and will just power forward for a yard.
It almost looked like he snapped that, like he felt that he was underneath him. Like Backhorst, who's moved from guard to center, he looks like, did he snap this? It's almost like he stopped the snap halfway. I don't know what happened.
Short arm it back.
He did.
Other simple things, Kirk, aren't so simple, right? When you haven't played in a big crowd, big game.
Yeah.
Opening game.
That was a strange snap there by the big man.
On the edge, Ross trying to make a man miss. E.J. Williams, they closed him down quickly, hit by Quay Walker. And number 36, Breeny.
Yeah, it's Tony Elliott, the offensive coordinator and play caller. That's what he's doing. His answer to these blitzing linebackers and the physicality of the defensive front is they've got to get the ball on the edge. You know, we've seen the freshman Shipley make a play. We got the ball out to Ngata. They typically over the years jet sweep, quick throws to the perimeter, try to get away from that pressure in the inside. It's tough sledding there between those tackles.
Need 9 on this third down. Again, the fumbled snap. DJ shows good poise. He's not going to escape. The timing was messed up, but again, the simple things, not so simple so far tonight for either side.
No, and that time it was just DJ with his eyes downfield. You know, it's a big third down. The snap's fine. Watch his head look up. See how he just starts to peek. Didn't quite secure the ball. As you said, Chris, good poise to just pick up the ball, but see, he's still trying. He's scrambling to throw. He's not scrambling to run. See him peek up there? That's what I just don't think he actually had the ball before he was such in a hurry to read the coverage that he didn't quite have the football.
2 starts last year. They fell way behind at Boston College. Biggest rally in school history. The 400-yard game at Notre Dame, but situationally, little shaky on third downs and in the red zone. And again, it's a good defense in a hostile environment.
Timeout. Clemson. This is their second.
Trying to get tricky there with the punch snap.
If I'm Brandon Streeter, the quarterback coach, or I'm Tony Elliott, or I'm Dabo, I pull him aside. He's got a brilliant career ahead of him. Hey, tonight, when you get out of there, go, run, urgency. We got to get 6 yards, get 8 yards, run the football.
CFP National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. Semifinals are on New Year's Eve this year. Arlington and Miami. Then the championship game in Indy for the first time. January 10th. You're not handing that to Alabama and Saban quite yet?
I'm not. No. They are you? They look pretty impressive today.
I'm handing it to them because you got to earn it, but they look like very much the team to beat. Winner of this game could go to number 2, actually, with what's happened in the top 5. Oklahoma and Ohio State not being dominant. Chris Felica, the Bear, in his den for the Athletic Trivia question.
Hello, gentlemen. Hello. Tonight's Athletic Trivia question. As you know, it's been a while since the national champion lost their season opener. All 28 teams in the college football playoff won their season opener. So who was the last national champion to lose their season opener?
Was it Colorado?
Colorado had a tie, so close.
No, they tied Tennessee in the fifth round game, right? Yeah. Well, it's obviously, as you said, not the playoff era. Ohio State won the title. They lost their second game of the year, right? Yeah. Milton barrels forward, takes a hit, but gains 8.
By picking up a few first downs, Clemson's again been usually close to their own goal line most of this first half. At least that time they pick up a few first downs. Good punt, good special teams. Now they get Georgia pinned back. Let's see if their defense can take advantage of that. But a good first down play by Georgia to get this drive started.
Play action on second and short. An easy pitch and catch. Crosby's Jack Saints got the first down.
That's Georgia football right there with Todd Monken. Run the football, affect the eyes of the safeties and the backers, make them respect that aspect, make them hesitate, get the corners a little soft, and then quick, easy throws to the outside. The combination of those, and then they're going to take a shot. Jermaine Burton, 7. He's their best vertical threat with Pickens out. And Burton emerging last year, he's the guy on the top of the screen that can get downfield, catch you napping.
All SEC preseason team. And they get out in the flat. No gain. They were all over John Fitzpatrick. Continue to feature the tight ends on short routes tonight.
Yeah, I mean, these safeties right now, it's almost like Monken is trying to bait them. Like, oh, no, we're not interested in going downfield. I mean, watch the safeties. As soon as they're just flying down. They're not even thinking of, they're going to leave their corners on islands. At some point, you've got to do something to make them respect it and try to stretch them. And even though Booth at the top's outstanding cover guy, take some shots.
Daniels again, quick throw. And catch is made by Ladd McConkey. Skalski tackled him a couple yards short. It'll be third down.
And a lot of this has to do with what Brent Venables is doing by playing so much zone. There's some soft pockets where they're throwing that football.
Third and short, tempo, didn't fool him. Brazil just muscled through a blocker and grabbed McIntosh. And that time they were ready for the fast pace. And it's fourth down.
Yeah, they were almost anticipating it. Brazil works around, little stunt. He goes around all the traffic, and once the big man gets a hold of you, he's going to bring you down one way or another. Good job by Clemson against that tempo of being ready and flipping him around to free him up.
It's a big stop for the Tigers defense. And Taylor is back deep to receive Camarda's punt. It's very high. Taylor has to retreat and make a fair catch. We've seen some excellent punting tonight. We got that going for us. Hang time over almost 6 seconds.
Capital One on ABC is brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise, the only mayo with that southern something, that added oomph. Duke's, it's got twang. And UKG, our purpose is people.
Dogs won the title in 80. In 81, it was Clemson winning a championship, and it got launched by Herschel Walker's only loss in the regular season game at Georgia. Excellent punting tonight. Camarda's 3 punts have all been down inside the 20. So the Tigers take over again, backed up at their 15.
Margin of error in a game like this, week 1, where field position is dictating, who has the advantage.
From the pocket, and no chance to make a play in the air. Neither defense has allowed anything close to an explosive play tonight.
Tried to sneak in a wheel route there, and Galloway picked up by Scene down the sideline.
Streak at stake. 143 games they've scored in the first half, but he's got a longer streak. Second down, misdirection handoff back inside and going absolutely nowhere. Dixon Carter on the stop.
This Clemson offense, people would say without Trevor Lawrence. I would say without not just Lawrence, but Travis Etienne. Clemson could not run the football last year. And they'll tell you, well, people crowded the line because of Etienne, so they had to throw the ball to him a lot. I would tell you, I don't think Clemson's offensive line was as good as they've been in years past. And now you take Etienne's playmaking ability away from this offense with an offensive line that's still trying to build continuity. It makes it tough. It takes away the running game. It puts it all on DJ in the passing game.
Last third down, they didn't bring the heat. Now they bring pressure. DJ gets it out. Again, miscommunication with Ross. They tried to target him a lot, Kirk. Again, hasn't played since 2019 and not on the same page with DJ so far.
No, he's trying, and again, he's getting pressure. And, you know, it's different between scrimmaging in August versus going up against a defense on national TV in a full house. He's getting his internal clock saying, I got to get the ball out. Ball's behind and early, and you see the frustration there with Ross kind of putting his arms up, wanting that football a little bit more out in front of him.
Clemson had to run a man on late. They only had 10 on the punt team. There was Jackson back deep for the Dogs. Spires can do it all, kind of rolls out, kicks it Aussie style, but it's not very good. And it hit a couple of guys over there. Clemson believes they have recovered. They did touch a Georgia man. Two guys were tangled up at midfield, but it took a bounce.
Yeah, I think it hit, definitely hit a Georgia player on the foot.
And that is the signal. Clemson football at midfield. First really major mistake so far. Take a closer look.
Yeah, I think it was Milton too. Watch his foot right there. He kicks the ball up in the air.
Just got the laces of the shoe on the laces of the football. Just barely grazed it if he did. Yep, it changed direction after it hit his foot.
And once it hit, I mean, there's just nothing but Clemson jerseys. Again, week one in a game like this, two great defenses. It's going to come down to which team makes a critical mistake is going to be the team that ends up losing this game. See if Clemson can take advantage of it.
We had some really good punts tonight. That was the ugliest punt of the night, but it created some chaos down there. They'll review the play. We'll take a break. Call stands, Clemson football, but whose foot did it hit first? Skalski? Bill LeMagne, it depends on whose foot it touched, doesn't it?
It does depend on that. You also have the thing that if the kicking team player was knocked into the ball, it's ignored.
Well, they said it's the call on the field stands, so they did not confirm it.
No, but I think it was the correct call.
Okay.
Tigers at midfield, the kind of mistake that could spark the offense here. The Georgia defense, which led the country in rushing yards allowed by about 25 yards a year ago, they're in no mood. Let the Tigers run up the center tonight.
No, it's tough to get not just a push against that front because they're so big and physical. But Chris, those linebackers, the line can't get up to the linebackers because the defensive line, they're eating all those double teams. It's just freeing up Walker and Dean to make plays just flying downhill.
2nd and 8. In the play action, DJ rolls, wanted to throw back to his left, and now fires for a first down. Ross goes down low at the 36.
He's looking back to Shipley, who was on that wheel route. And again, if he takes off and runs, he's probably going to pick up a first down as well. But he is scrambling to throw, and that time he's able to find the rhythm there and timing to get the ball to Ross, who's able to separate from the DB.
Don't look now, but Will Taylor, who's been a punt returner, kind of a dual threat quarterback in there in shotgun formation, spelling Uiagalelei on first down. They hand it off inside to Kobe Pace, so that's a wrinkle.
Yeah, Will Taylor, a high school quarterback, a great player, great athlete. Actually thought he might be drafted in the first round of the amateur baseball draft. And if he would have gone in the first round, he would have had a really tough decision to make. Instead, he decides to play football, and he'll play baseball. Clemson as well, true freshman. So he's very familiar with running the option. When he gets in there, is a different wrinkle.
Picked up 2. Pace, the running back, lined up in the slot, empty backfield. Ball out quickly. Catch made. It's Breeden Galloway, the tight end. He'll be 4 yards away from the marker. Third down coming up.
Just kind of dinking and dunking, right? I mean, Georgia's keeping everything in front, kind of like what Clemson has done. Nobody's able to get behind these defensive backs. Remember, that was a big question. Georgia lost 7 defensive backs off of last year's roster. Few to the NFL, a couple to transfer, talking 7. And so far, these defensive backs are holding up, including former Clemson Tiger Darian Kendrick at the bottom, number 11.
Here comes the noise. Play clock at 2. From the pocket. Intercepted! Jumping the route is Christopher Smith. A foot race. Can the quarterback catch him? He cannot. Pick 6, Georgia.
He's sitting right here, and I almost feel with all these short throws, I feel that Smith almost baited him. Does a good job of getting his eyes up, anticipating that throw on 3rd down. He's right where the 1st down marker is, and then he's got the speed to get away from DJ and into the end zone. Great job of anticipating on 3rd down by a safety in Smith, showing the instincts that makes him a really, really talented player.
74 yards on the return for the junior from Atlanta. It's the first turnover in the college career of Uiagalelei, and it's the first points tonight. The Dogs' defense gets Georgia on the board. Kevin, you got a fancy house there. That's a good look.
Yeah, it is. A lot of highlights to go over, too.
Georgia emphasizing more takeaways. That was not a strength of this defense a year ago. Only had 9 picks last year. Smith's pick 6, the first points of the game. Shipley will let it bounce over his head.
A tough night. Just tuning in for DJ Uiagalelei. First start of 2021, 7 of 12, just indecisive. Now let's give Georgia a lot of credit here. This is a great defense. Can't run the ball. Offensive line is getting beaten up. But it's just been, the game feels like it's moving fast. And here on a 3rd down, telegraphing, facing the blitz, and Smith steps in front of it for a touchdown. And after this, DJ tried to make the tackle. You can see James Skalski, starting middle linebacker on the other side, one of the first ones down there, say, hey man, let's go, shake out of this. That's what leaders do, and it's good to see Skalski doing that. But Dabo Swinney told Holly Rowe, we want to see how he responds, not just to the good plays, the bad plays. Well, here we go.
His streak of pass attempts to begin his career before interception stopped at 128. And that's Rosemary Jack-Saint. We talked about the receiver who was coming off a broken ankle last year on that kick coverage team. Holly?
Well, guys, Christopher Smith, who had that nice interception return for a touchdown, one of the things his defensive coordinator said about him that I absolutely love, he's 5'11", 190, and he said he's a little dog that thinks he's a big dog, and he had some bite on that play. But what was hilarious is he came over to the sideline. Guys are trying to congratulate him, and they're trying to put those Savage pads on him that they have, that's their version of the turnover chain.
Yeah.
He couldn't get him on because he was sucking oxygen. He had to take so much oxygen. They're stretching him out on the sidelines right now.
I saw him, it must have been cramping because they were stretching. Yeah, like you said, the calves. He wants to get back out there.
I love an undersized, scrappy safety. And if you appreciate defensive football, what he did, Kirk, in that play, did his homework, studied tape, jumped the route, followed his instincts. Just a beautiful play.
And he knew he had to blitz on that side, and he knew that the ball was going to have to come out quickly, and he anticipated that short, quick slant and that glance route. He just jumped in front of it.
Now we'll see right away how Uiagalelei responds. Got under 3 minutes to go before halftime. Right back to work. He threw it into traffic, and it was broken up. Intended for Galloway, and that's Lewis Seen, the safety.
Boy, it looked like I thought Lewis Seen maybe got there a little bit early on this crossing route, trying to work behind the linebackers. It opens up, and if you look real close, 16, as he tries to get to that football, got there a little bit early, gets away with it.
DJ 7 of 13, 51 yards through the air. Has good protection and nice throw in the sideline. Ngata's got it for the second time out near midfield.
And that gives you an idea of the arm strength And the accuracy, again, he's trying to put that two ball in right between the corner and the safety, puts it on a line right where Ngata can go up and make a play on it and towards the sideline away from the defender.
24-yard gain. This would be enormous for Clemson. If they could answer that mistake, they will get the football to begin the second half. In traffic, play never really had a chance. They didn't get to it, but they affected the throw.
Yeah, one of the things that Nick Saban has always believed in, and you see it with Kirby Smart, we're seeing it tonight with Dan Lanning, is sitting back with two safeties to take away the vertical shots. See, you know, sometimes it's not about the sack. It's just about affecting him and slowing and affecting the rhythm. But you sit back with two safeties and they still can't run the football, that's a good night. That is a good night because it makes it hard to throw the ball. And if you're winning with that defensive line and those linebackers in the run game, you're winning as a defense.
Flips it off underneath his pace, and he's knocked down. The longest run they've had tonight, Kurt, was a 4-yard gain after the fumbled snap. But we actually scooped it up. That's the longest run from scrimmage tonight for Clemson.
Yeah, and when you become one-dimensional against a good defense, you become predictable. And they start to, like we saw on the previous drive, you start to anticipate what's coming because there's only so much you can do as a play caller. I mean, they wanted to run wide. They knew it'd be tough to run inside, but they wanted to at least run the ball, get the ball out on the perimeter, and that's all been shut down.
3 for 7 on third down tonight. You need 4. Quick throw into traffic. Tough catch made by Ngata. Pinballing around in there, somehow held on, moves it to the 35.
Well, that is a great job of concentrating and holding on. His buddy Darian Kendrick, the former Clemson Tiger, hit him as soon as he caught the football. But there's the hand strength of Ngata there, 6'3", 220 pounds, holding on to that ball.
They got their own California connection. One that comes from Folsom. And trying to reach out and make a one-handed grab on that sideline.
Ngata, you know, he's had to battle through injuries over the last couple years, but this is what they've missed. And there's the size, 6'4", 250. Look at the hand strength. Gets hit as soon as he catches it. But a good job. By the way, he's running into the teeth of that secondary, not just Kendrick hitting him. So good concentration there. This drive feels like, I know it's late in the half, but a lot more urgency. They're more aggressive on this drive.
They have the one timeout left. Pressure, throws the ball to the ground, and they're checking to see if it was grounding. Jalen Carter knocked the quarterback down. No flag.
And of course, as soon as I say that, he's indecisive because everybody's covered downfield. This is a coverage, almost sack. He's looking to work to his left. He's really fortunate. He's able to get that ball away before Carter gets in there to bring him down.
Georgia fans jumping around. They're beating on the drums here. Now it's 3rd and 10.
You go from a guy like Trevor Lawrence, all those games in 3 years, ability to work through progressions, to a guy who's very talented with a bright future, but still young. He's kind of locking in on receivers, and when they're not open, he starts to become very hesitant.
Oh, ball hawking over there was Dan Jackson, the safety. He's reading that slant. It's 4th down.
Yeah, his job is to just sit there and wait for anything coming into the middle, or a crosser or a glance. And if that ball is thrown on the money, I think Jackson's able to step in front of that. Again, it's so different for Tony Elliott to call plays with a guy who's just had a couple starts last year from what he had with the first pick overall in the draft.
The talent is tremendous. He's going to have a great career, as you said, but he is being put under duress tonight. Going for it on 4th and 10. And he was stomping his feet like crazy, trying to get the dogs to jump, and they wouldn't play a game.
Offense, 5-yard penalty.
So now they'll bring the punt team out. Does it surprise you they didn't run a play?
No, it's 7-0, and Georgia has 7 on a pick 6. I mean, it's still it's first half.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to put Georgia back there, let them maybe work the clock and get off the field. down 7-0. You go for that there, and you don't get it. You give JT Daniels the ball at the plus 40. At the very least, they're trying to get a field goal. So I think it's a no-brainer. You got to punt this ball away.
Well, it would have been their own 42, I guess. But.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you're a couple completions.
I get it.
Got a first
it's a night for old school decisions here.
Yeah.
Spires boots it up. Jackson gets out of the way, and everybody in Georgia just runs away. No one was in with 30 yards of the football that time, and it's a touchback. They couldn't grab it. They were not going to make that same mistake again.
That's right.
Let's go back to the Bear for the Aflac answer.
I got nothing for you here. What do you got?
Well, we asked tonight's Aflac Trivia question: who is the last national champion to lose its season opener, inferring eventual national champion? Got it back to 1983, the Miami Hurricanes.
Florida?
Blown out by Florida in the season opener, then ripped off 11-0, of course, capped off by that incredible Orange Bowl win over Nebraska.
Bear, be honest.
He wants to feel better about the Miami loss.
Bear is a Miami alum. I mean, you thought it'd be competitive for a half today, right? You thought, Bama's breaking in some new people. You thought it'd be competitive, right?
Yeah, you thought it could maybe be like that West Virginia opener a couple of years ago. Alabama maybe starts a little slow, then pours it on. But, yeah, that was that Alabama defense.
Turns out Bryce Young and the boys
that Alabama defense is pretty good.
Why would anybody agree to play Alabama in one of those season opening games? I know it's nice for TV. I'm sorry.
Why you got to say that, man?
Cook knocked down after a short game. Dogs figure just to bleed this clock out. There's a progressive pylon cam. Just nose over the plane there.
Yeah, E.J. Williams with a good effort, almost able to pin that. But, yeah, Georgia's very content. Even though they have not scored an offensive touchdown in a field position defensive game, to be up 7.
You figured it would be defensive, but are you still a little surprised how defensive it's been?
Yeah, I've been very surprised.
Tigers' streak of scoring in the first half, which was the longest in FBS, will be broken. 90 yards offense for Clemson.
And between the two teams, you feel like Georgia and Todd Monken have a little bit more traction. I feel like Tony Elliott and the Clemson offensive staff, boy, they got to go back to the drawing board to try to figure out what they can do to try to move the ball against this defense.
Christopher Smith accounting for all of the points in this first half. The 74-yard pick 6. And the Dogs on top. Let's go down to Holly Rowe with Kirby Smart.
Coach, your defense has allowed just 1 yard rushing to Clemson in this first half. How do you describe the penetration and the pressure they're getting?
Well, we got some good guys up front. They're doing a good job. They're doing some misdirection things. They're not really committing to the run either, so it's both ways.
You guys had an offensive lineman go out early in this, and you've had to really switch people around. How can you get some running game going of your own?
Well, we hit some decent runs. We can't get explosive in the run game. We got to do a better job there. We lost Tate early. I don't know how bad it is. Warren Erickson, who has not practiced that much, has had to go in and guard.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Brandon Marcus Tate, the guard who went out early. And both offensive lines, Kirk, have struggled mightily. Nothing close to an explosive offensive play for Georgia. Clemson will get the football to start the third quarter. End of 30 minutes in Charlotte. The Dish halftime report is coming up right after these messages. Kevin and Booker. And welcome back to Charlotte, the Dukes Mayo Classic on ABC, presented by Capital One. Hard-hitting game, 2 aggressive defenses. The offenses have not scored. A pick 6 by the Dogs has them on top. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe, old school. Back to the first meeting in, 1897 here. Georgia's longest play from scrimmage, 12 yards. They've got the lead. Clemson's going to get the ball first, Kirk. What do both offenses have to do to get some traction here?
Well, JT Daniels is going to have to take some shots downfield. He's 13 of 16, but it's just been a lot of short throws to try to complement their running game, and it's been effective to a degree, but they're not putting points on the board, so they got to take some shots. With what's happening with Clemson, I've said all along, I think DJ has got to run the football. They've got to implement. They can't win the line of scrimmage. You got to run DJ, and then at some point, you got to try to see if he can take himself. Try to get some rhythm and some tempo, because when they got aggressive it seemed to take away some of the aggressiveness of the Georgia defense. They were setting the tone a little bit more. So I think more tempo, and you got to get some QB run going.
The best plays have been targets to Joseph Ngata. He's made some tough catches in traffic.
He has.
Just weird to see in the post-ETN era, 0-0 running game.
No.
Tigers.
No, and that offensive line kind of picking up where they left off against Ohio State. They've been whipped up front.
Take a look at the Modelo fighting spirit moment. This is after Clemson got the ball at midfield. Play of the half.
That's the only points on the board. Christopher Smith made that jump on a third down. He felt the blitz, see the blitz in front of him, expected the ball to come out right at the first down marker, and jumped it. Got his eyes up just in time, knew the ball would be coming, stepped in front of the receiver, and then outran DJ into the end zone for the only touchdown of this game. Now let's see these adjustments that Tony Elliott and the staff have made.
First turnover in the career of Uiagalelei. 2 games as a starter and other games mop-up last year for Trevor Lawrence. Pace is the back. Enough in the middle, nothing doing. Holly.
Well, guys, when Dabo Swinney was coming down the tunnel to get back onto the field after halftime, he said, how about that heavyweight fight out there? It has been such a fun fight, but he wants his quarterback, DJ Uiagalelei, to calm down a little bit. He's like, DJ's just got to settle down, and we've got to communicate better. That pick was on Ross. He didn't run the right route there. He said, DJ's just got to quit overthrowing people, settle down. And he said, you know, really the MVP in this game has been the punter. We've got to get better field position.
2nd and 9, batted down at the line of scrimmage. You buy that? It's on the receiver, not the quarterback?
No, I think it's a coach trying to take care of his young quarterback who's got a bright future. This defensive line continues to anticipate and kind of feel things out. At the time, Devontae Wyatt, one of the leaders up front of that defense, 95, almost playing like a linebacker that time. Couldn't get to DJ, so he just got up and knocked it down.
The second time he's done that tonight. They counted as one of the havoc plays. They keep charting, and they've created plenty of havoc in the first 30 minutes. Lots of shifting and moving on both sides pre-snap. Play clock at 5. Here comes late pressure. And again, misfiring. A late flag came in. They were targeting Ross. Dean was closely covering, and maybe too closely.
Wow. Wow, I feel like Clemson catches a break here. Justin Ross.
Defense number 17.
The route didn't even get to the first down marker, but he did grab the shoulder when he came out of his break. Dean is guilty of grabbing onto the shoulder. He touched the shoulder. I don't know if that's pass interference.
Got a feel for Justin Ross. Again, we told you his story in the first half. Imagine just being back out there after having just barely been cleared for contact. 2 spinal surgeries. It's got to feel a little surreal for him, and he hasn't really looked like the Justin Ross of 18 or 19 yet.
Well, he doesn't have Trevor Lawrence throwing an ETN behind Trevor Lawrence.
So first down after the penalty. This is Shipley, a true freshman. That qualifies as a big play for the running game tonight. Wyatt on the stop.
You know, I think besides the obvious, where the defensive line is playing great and the linebackers flying, I think they just look really well prepared for a first game. Dan Lanning, the defensive coordinator, and Kirby Smart, they have these guys expecting certain plays, putting them in position to make plays.
Late pressure again. DJ on the move, has to just throw it away. You got Lanning. You got obviously Kirby Smart defensive mentality. Will Muschamp's helping out, so a lot of defensive brain power over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, there come the backers again. Backers are getting through. They're getting penetration. He just tries to buy time and just get rid of it. It's Dean again. Boy, Dean, we've seen Dean and Walker both blitzing a lot. Guards and tackles not able to pick them up because of the suddenness, and they're occupied with defensive linemen. Boy, Dan Lanning is dialing up tonight.
Big Cinco, as they call it. 0 for Cinco. 5 straight incompletions. They need 7 on third down. 4-man rush. Gets it out. And again, it's Ngata. They left him alone there. Quarterback spots him first down in midfield.
Yeah, that's a little bit surprising. You have a true freshman in Ringo, and I don't know if there's a miscommunication there, but I was shocked that he dropped. He was up tight, and then at the snap of the ball, he drops back. You had a couple defenders, and nobody. It makes it really easy for quarterback and receiver on third down.
Not much has been easy.
No, that time it was. Yeah.
Here's a little reverse. Ross takes the scoop, and he is knocked down after a 5-yard gain as Elliott looks for those kind of wrinkle plays to throw off that pursuit.
Over the years, I want you to think about this. Artavis Scott, Hunter Renfrow, Amari Rodgers. These receivers are tall. They're outstanding. But there's always been a shifty slot receiver in this offense when they've been great. It just feels like it's missing right now to offset just the more lean, the longer lean receivers.
Fake pitch, drop behind the line. Once again, that's big Jordan Davis, his hometown team, making a tackle.
Well, you got a young guard coming down to try to make a block there, and that's a tough ask. Marcus Tate, 74. See him work down, and he's a true freshman trying to block Jordan Davis, who thought about going to the NFL and ended up coming back to play more college football.
How does a 350-pound man run a sub-540 and a 30-plus inch vertical jump? Crazy.
And a cerebral guy, too.
3rd and 7 again. Uyunglele sacked again. Nakobe Dean's been a nightmare tonight.
They're just going to keep dialing it up. They're going to keep pulling these linebackers until you stop them. I mean, especially on third down, they're shooting different gaps. They've been coming on the right side quite a bit, affecting the communication. And, Dean comes free, but give those big defensive linemen who are slanting and angling a lot of credit because they're eating up those linemen. And then you see Dean coming around behind that, effectively rushing the quarterback.
Tigers run 8 plays, get a break on the pass interference call, but have to punt it away again. Jackson waves his hand and makes the fair catch at the 12-yard line. Still nothing for that Clemson offense so far. 43-yard punt. Georgia takes over from the 12. JT Daniels, look how quick he's getting the ball out tonight.
And again, look how short these throws are. He's 13 of 16, so he's been effective. He's been efficient. Here's probably one of his better throws to the freshman, Bowers, but Clemson's doing everything they can to keep everything in front of them.
First down incompletion on the edge there, trying to get the ball to Mitchell. Booth in coverage. Got to be careful down here. Clemson's offense is struggling. Defense would love to spark it with a takeaway. If you're Daniels, just where 1 or 2 mistakes are going to decide this thing tonight.
Absolutely. This is going to be a game of these quarterbacks trying to avoid that disastrous play. We've already seen Uyunglele make one of them.
White patiently picks his way. That's a nice run. Followed some blocks. Moves the sticks to the 25.
And he follows Fitzpatrick. Does a nice job. Really good job on an outside stretch play where they've got the speed to get wide. Tough to get wide and get outside of Clemson.
And that Georgia tempo. They flip it off to the freshman tight end. Bowers bounces off a man. Spector knocked him down, short gain. Nice debut for this tight end.
How about Bowers? I mean, he's been playing high school football, and tonight, because of the entry to Washington, he gets a lot of opportunities. He had a great camp, one of the great stories that they said of all the freshmen. And I don't know if he anticipated getting this many opportunities tonight, even though he had that great camp.
There's some running back in high school as well as tight end. And Napa, it's not one of the areas of California that's known for being a powerhouse producing.
No, it's where you go to drink your wine, right?
Indeed. This guy's another Californian from Fresno, Kendall Mill. It's amazing how well they do. It's a national brand, Georgia. They go to California for a lot of key guys. Holly?
Well, that's right. Brock Bowers out of Napa is really talented, guys. He's really smart. That's what's helped him get on the field. 4.33 GPA in high school. But how about this? He was a triple option quarterback his freshman year. He played outside linebacker, defensive end, returned kicks, and punts. Last year played wide receiver and running back. He's literally played everywhere on the field, so I think that's why he was able to pick up this offense.
Holly, there's a message there for parents. The versatility, playing all those positions has allowed him now to be a tight end where he's a better athlete.
3rd and 8. Tigers bring some pressure. Picked up, and it's intercepted. Spector stepped in front of the receiver. And it's Clemson's defense turn to make a play. You had a feeling the mistake might be coming.
Yeah, and I think JT Daniels got fooled because he thought Spector might stay to the inside on the tight end. He's right here. Tight end works here. He kind of sinks, and then he works to the outside. I think JT Daniels is thinking he's going to stay with this tight end, which should open things up out here. Instead, watch what Spector does. Works out to the outside, fools JT Daniels, and comes up with a big turnover that the Tigers need.
So Clemson will take over at the 33, trying to finally find the end zone and tie this football game.
All right, this is what you've wanted. Uiagalelei, this is their opportunity. It's been a tough night for this offense, but Spector gives them great field position. You got to come away with points.
Option look, Shipley on the pitch. Dogs close it down quickly and knock him down after a 3-yard gain. Nolan Smith on the stop.
Well, if he's going to run that speed option, he's got to attack the defensive end, Nolan Smith. You're pitching off of Nolan Smith. You can't pitch off of him and then allow Nolan Smith to go out and make the play. The option is about taking that defensive end. Nolan Smith commits to you, then you pitch.
DJ didn't run too much option in St. John Bosco.
No. But again, in this offense, they got to throw that wrinkle in.
Pressure is picked up, trying to buy time, and now he can't escape. There was good coverage. Eventually, the rush got to him. It's Jalen Carter. 4th sack tonight for the Dogs.
This play kind of sums up what's happened tonight with some of the inexperience. You've got a couple guys running the exact same route in the same exact area. That's not good. And it affected the rhythm and the confidence that he had. He's really struggling to come off primary. Look at these guys. There's no one open. You got 2 guys standing next to each other. Nowhere to go with the football, and he's having a hard time working from his 1st to 2nd to 3rd option. He's locking on primary. If it's not there, he's in trouble.
3rd and 16. They're going to squander this great field position. Sacked again. Relentless pass rush. They swarm him. Adam Anderson. His turn to eat.
They get pressure this time without blitzing. You know, if you're a Georgia fan, you're enjoying seeing the linebacker play tonight. Anderson is over here. Smith is over here. It's to the right this time. Anderson, we saw Smith early come up with a big sack, and this time you get an idea of what Georgia can do to a quarterback if you hold on to the football too long.
Kirk, 3 plays after the pick. They lose 9 yards and fall out of field goal range. Not only do they not tie the game with a touchdown, they get no points out of this. Best they can hope for is Spires is able to knock the punt dead deep and pin Georgia back. Not a real good job. Jackson up to make the fair catch at the 14. That Dogs pass rush, the story here tonight.
The Dukes Mayo Classic, presented by Capital One on ABC, is brought to you by DoorDash. Get more from your neighborhood. And Marathon, driven forward.
DJ Shockley back in that 0-2 game was like a situational quarterback. David Green was the starter. He electrified and rescued Georgia. Dodged the upset against the Tigers back in 0-2.
And I want to go back to this last play. Let's roll it real quick, and I want you to see what happens. It's a 3rd down. They're playing man under. Look how it opens up. Clemson quarterbacks have got to see that and take off. Now, he's a young guy. I understand that. But that threat is so big in this offense, and Georgia doesn't fear it. And I don't even think right now at this stage of his career, it's even on the mind of DJ. And Georgia knows it.
See what JT can do. Defense bailed him out. Pick didn't cost him any points. Milton bounces it. Lowers the shoulder. Excuse me, that's White making the run. And tackle eventually by Charleston.
Watch the push here by the left side of this offensive line. They do a good job creating. He's just kind of looking, following that double team, find that seam, a little jump cut. Outstanding block by Fitzpatrick. And that's what springs him. But it was the vision and the patience that time by White that allowed him, freed him up to get those big yards.
By far, Georgia's best running play tonight.
That's nice.
James Cook takes his turn at tailback. They fake it to him. Daniels over the middle. Catch made. Jalen Johnson down in that depth chart, but he makes a big play to the 43 of the Tigers.
Yeah, little play action. Watched it freeze the linebackers. They bite up. Creates a nice little hole in the backside right behind there. Boom, nice throw.
Different receivers. Let's Cook the back. Getting a chance to make an impact tonight again with Pickens and Blaylock not there. Darnell Washington, the pass-catching tight end, not effective. Kyrus Jackson doesn't quite look 100% either. So other guys are having to step in.
Yeah, Kyrus Jackson really just being used on punt returns. So that's where the versatility of some of these guys, their ability to catch the ball out there, not just run the ball, is so big. But you run the ball, it sets that play action. Again, that's Todd Monken and what he wants to do with this offense this year. Make those linebackers have to freeze and respect that fake. Creates good openings behind that zone.
On the reverse, Johnson has a couple blockers, makes a cut, takes a big hit there from Spector, about 3 yards short of the marker.
You know, this secondary, for the most part, has been doing a good job of holding up without their leader, Nolan Turner. You know, he's not back there, not playing, and they've required others to have to step up, and they've been rotating a lot of different bodies. I mean, we had seen Trenton Simpson, for example, bounce all over the place. That time he was back at safety. They move him up now to play kind of that nickel spot.
Turner, their top tackler from a year ago, has a hamstring issue.
He's played so much football.
Milton knifing through. Here comes a flag, a big collision. So first down, but we'll check the marker. It was from the defensive backfield. Landon Zanders slammed into the running back.
Well, they're getting outside now in this drive a little bit.
During the run, holding, offense, number 9. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. We'll repeat third down.
And they got the receiver, Justin Robinson, on the hold.
Yeah, he's trying to get out in front right here.
Yep.
Locks up 21 Green. But they did a little pin and pull with that condensed formation. The tight end Bowers just locking the edge, freeing it up to get to the outside. Again, twice now in this drive, they've been able to have some of their better runs. That time, obviously, the hold, but the hold didn't have a whole lot to do with the success of that play.
Spot foul. Now to be 3rd and 7. High snap. Daniels gets the ball out quickly. McIntosh fighting. And it's a first down. That was some tough running from the running back.
You just said this, Chris. Kyrus Jackson and some of these injuries, they're not out there. So you're asking receivers to go out here and be slot receivers, running backs to be slot receivers. And that's where you can see, again, that the versatility of a guy that can go out there and do that. And you've had all camp to try to work it. But Georgia very fortunate to be healthy enough at running back to move some of these guys, their 3rd and 4th string, out and play that slot receiver.
That's a great point. Georgia nowhere near their full arsenal weapons. When these guys get healthy later in the year, look out. But right now they're trying to make do and asking guys to play different roles. This is McIntosh, the familiar running back position. They're starting to get downhill now.
Yeah, you knew after a couple times we've seen this that they're going to go back to this. They're using that, again, that condensed formation. They're bringing everybody in, using different bodies. That time they try to use Burton to kind of seal it and then get Bowers out to the outside with McClendon, the right tackle. And have we seen them all night have running lanes? No, we haven't until this drive.
This is the first real true drive tonight by either team. They've moved it 63 yards.
Again, play action off of that now sets it up. Safeties and linebackers start getting caught up worrying about run.
Take it to White. Lob it to the edge, and no chance. Here comes the flag. Mitchell was being grabbed by Sheridan Jones.
Pretty much a no-brainer on the call this time. Mitchell, a freshman. Jones just completely locked him up and grabbed onto him there.
For both passing games, passing interference calls have been among their most effective plays tonight.
That's right.
I mean, but it moves the ball inside the 10. 1st and goal, Georgia. Trying to make this a 2-score game.
I mean, the way this game has felt, you talk about a red zone, the importance of red zone for a defense to try to bow up. Touchdown here with the way their offense is played could be devastating for Clemson.
Play action, Daniels flips it, and was it tipped at the line?
It was. Xavier Thomas, 3, climbed the ladder. You know, he had such a troubled season in 2020 with COVID, and just really was not able to contribute the way he had hoped, and went up to 290 pounds, dropped back down, got over COVID, 265 pounds, has had a great offseason, a great camp, is locked in, and that time not necessarily getting to Daniels, but that time, if he doesn't get a hand on that, that's some yardage there for Georgia.
3 receivers to the left on second down. They get it back into the boundary there, and Burton into traffic, gets down inside the 5. Goodrich on the tackle. 3rd and goal.
That's a simple play that you're going to get the ball to a guy that can be dangerous with the ball in his hands, and you got a couple tight ends in front of him that are picking up some good blocks. And Clemson able to get off of those blocks and keep him out of the end zone. Remember, we just said pivotal point in the game for the Clemson defense.
That's a huge 4-point play potentially. White's the back. Daniels looking right, launches into heavy traffic. Broken up there, a dangerous throw. Brock Bowers was being bracketed that time. It's 4th down.
Wow, Makuba looked like he might be able to come up with an interception. And you're right, sure, that was heavy traffic that he threw that in there. Skowski was back there as well. He had 2 different receivers running into the same area. Can't really tell who he's trying to get to. I don't know if he's trying to get to the bigger Bowers, who really gets his hands on the ball.
He did.
He somehow, boy, he got up.
He did, but Smith didn't do him any favors. His teammate kind of knocked it into him as he was trying to grab the ball. 4 guys within a phone booth, basically.
But the Tigers do get the stop.
Lesney missed earlier. This chip shot, crucial from 22 yards to make it a 10-point game. And he drives it through. First long drive of the night. 11 plays, 81 yards, 10 zip dogs. Keep telling you, Kirk, this UCLA. I know that.
I mean, I'm jumping up and down watching that highlight, Kevin. That's pretty good.
Boy, it's nice to see the UCLA, the powder blue and the gold. If they can get them going.
If they win today,
it'd be fun for the sport.
They win today, man. 4th year he's been there. I just thought it could be the year they get it going.
It's a short kick, and Ship is going to have a chance from the 5. And the freshman knocked down to the 23. Well, for us, part of return to normalcy is having the All-State bus and Curtis Wilson back on the job. Here he is in Charlotte. What's your All-State celebration moment today?
Well, we've been watching football since Thursday night. We watched it yesterday, watched it a lot today. I think this game in Madison, it's a tough ask for Penn State. To go on the road, Camp Randall, sold out. I don't care if it was pretty or it wasn't. That is a great win. Think about how last year started in Bloomington. Remember that play that was reviewed?
Oh, yeah.
Did Penix get in? Did he not? Ended up being a devastating loss they struggled to recover from. This time, they find a way to win it on the road. So that's the big celebration.
Tremendous defensive effort on the road. Riangolale now a little extra urgency, Kirk, now that they're down double digits here. That's Galloway making the catch for a short gain.
Yeah, quick throws, get the ball out. Again, what I've seen tonight from him, this guy has tremendous upside. We know about his future, but he's still a young guy, and he's struggling right now to come off primary if it's covered and work through it. And also, the offensive line has struggled at the line of scrimmage.
Here comes pressure again. They block Dean that time. A flag comes in. They might have held him to block him. And now another flag comes in late.
A lot of
pile of laundry on the field.
That could be a chop block. Once you're engaged with a defender and then you go underneath, you submarine him. That's a problem.
Kobe Pace, the back, is the man that they...
Pace is actually...
Chop block. Offense. Number 65 and 20.
Pace is the one that submarined, committed the foul. You see the blitz right here. And once he gets locked up, you'll see 20 submarine. Brockhorst does a good job right there trying to hold up. But then once you're engaged and another offensive player goes down low, it's a chop block and a personal foul.
And it's been hard to try to stop Dean from getting in there tonight. That time they broke the rules to do it.
You know, we watched him last year. We knew what he could do. I just feel like with Monty Rice out of the middle, his leadership and his playmaking ability, it's his turn, right?
Yep.
He's going to a different level. And again, if you're a Georgia fan watching 17 right now, you've loved him, and now you're really starting to appreciate. Remember, this guy's a leader. This guy's at a very different level. He's a 4.0 engineering student. You know, coaches will say, we're watching film, and he's like, well, I got a big engineering test tomorrow. It's like, oh, well, you do you, man. You go do your thing.
He uses part of the brain power on the football field, too.
Absolutely.
Serious leader and a tremendous athlete. 2nd and 18. Uyunglele hesitation and just plows forward for 4 or 5 yards. Holly?
Well, you're talking about how smart Nakobe Dean is. I talked to him this week about his academic workload. He's actually taking a machine design class and mechanical engineering level 200 classes right now. He's doing that in addition to his football work. And you can just see how smart he is out here on the field. He's telling everybody else what to do. I've seen him correct guys several times. He also knows the angles. I just think there's something in that engineering smarts that's helping him.
He is not only leading Holly tonight, he's been the dynamic playmaker, blitzing often and finding those creases to get into the backfield.
What do they got on 3rd and 14? No protection again. Sack off the edge. Trayvon Walker joining the party. A 6th sack.
And they do a little twist stunt from inside and outside. The left side of Clemson's offensive line right here struggles. You'll see it work in, and then on the outside, he's able to work back into the middle, affecting the communication, and ends up getting in.
Kirk, it's shocking. I mean, all the years the Tigers, the stars come and go, the production doesn't dip. They have 92 total yards tonight. When you subtract all the yards from those sacks, 92. We're almost done with the 3rd quarter. Spires boots it from the goal line. Jackson drifting back to his 39. Sidesteps some traffic. A flag comes in on the return, which figures to spoil the field position. They would have had the ball in Clemson territory. We'll check the marker with 10 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Georgia has run 44 plays tonight. Clemson the same number.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 7. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It'll be 1st down, Georgia.
This is a little bit like NFL football. I mean, the number of plays. Speaking of Sunday, it's college football. The Fighting Irish, ranked number 9. Jack Cohn, the ex-Badger, taking over at quarterback, visiting Tallahassee at 7:30 Eastern time. And then on Monday, Labor Day, back to Atlanta. Louisville Cardinals and the Rebels of Ole Miss. You'll be there along with Reese Davis on that call. ACC teams involved 5 consecutive days from Thursday to Monday.
Yeah. Lane Kiffin now with COVID, he will not be able to be there to be able to coach in person. So we'll see how that impacts that game.
We talked about the Penn State game for so many years. It's been championship teams playing explosive offense, 50 points a game. LSU, these Clemson offenses, Alabama. You felt that 21 might be a much more defensive year. We're seeing early signs of it. Why?
Yeah, I just thought before the season started that would be my trend this year, and it has everything to do with COVID restrictions a year ago. It impacted defenses more than the offense. They didn't have spring ball. Defense is about continuity, playing together, being with each other, and they couldn't do it a year ago. This year they can.
Daniels rolls out, finds Bowers again, and the young tight end is having a heck of a debut. 1st down near midfield.
Yeah, he snuck behind James Skowski, and all of a sudden, starting to see this quarterback, JT Daniels, starting to find some answers to this athletic defense. So that has a lot to do with outside. They're starting to attack outside in the run game and outside on play action.
6 catches for Bowers. He's been the featured guy. 15 minutes to play in Charlotte. 10-0 Georgia. Back after this message and a word for your local ABC station. This season, Taco Bell welcoming back one of the best parts of college football, the student sections. Libma Student Section of the Year contest has returned. ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. Beginning of the final quarter. Dogs from their 48 up 10. And off inside to White. You know what I'm excited about, Kirk? The return of all the things around the games that were missing last year. Both bands out here putting on a great halftime show. The commitment that these folks make. You know, they practice and train like football players do. I know it's a little different, but the commitment isn't different.
I'm a marching band guy. I mean, I love the marching bands, and I think it's one of the things that, again, separates college football. You know, the college football, it's a sense of community, the tailgating, the student bodies, the cheerleaders, the band. Boy, did we miss that.
Soundtrack wasn't here last year.
No.
You're trying to pound away the middle. This is White for a short gain. It's going to be 3rd and 4. Spector on the stop.
This Clemson defense is doing everything they can to keep them in this football game. At this stage of the game, down by 10. Not only are they trying to hold up on 3rd downs for Brent Venables, they're trying to create a turnover. I mean, they did it once, and the offense wasn't able to capitalize, but almost feels like the only way Clemson's going to score tonight is the defense is going to have to make a play.
If you count that punt that touched a man's foot, that's technically a turnover. They've got nothing out of the 2 takeaways at all. And they had great field position both times.
It's true.
Daniel swarmed and sacked. This time it's the Clemson pass rush getting after the quarterback. Big Miles Murphy like a freight train.
They bring pressure, and Murphy's going to work all the way around. Man-to-man, Brent Venables is playing a lot of zone. And this time he brings a twist of his own. Poor communication up front. I think it surprised them. He hasn't shown a lot of that kind of pressure, but at this stage of the game, we just talked about running out of time, need a stop, need a big play, and they get it from Murphy.
The Georgia fans would be excited that we're now in the 4th quarter. That's the first sack that they've given up to this Clemson pass rush. Tigers does their job, though. The defense does its job getting off the field. And Taylor makes the fair catch. Once again, though, not good field position. Ruiangalale. This week's college football rankings brought to you by PlayStation. This is the AP poll. I said earlier that I think the winner of this game, great chance to move up to number 2. Oklahoma escaping against Tulane.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma is almost like they got up big, and then they, like last year, they took their foot off the gas and almost caught them. Alabama was just at a different level. All the teams that played, they looked incredible.
All right, Clemson, how many more possessions will they get? Down 10, backed up, pass rush again. Uiagalelei escapes. At least he doesn't get trapped behind the line, able to get about 4.
He just reminds me of a young guy whose mind, sometimes you watch a guy like a Trevor Lawrence or a Joe Burrow, and the game looks like it's slow, like the game is slowed down. This is an example where the game is fast. It's almost in fast forward. The coverage, everything he's seeing, it's happening so fast. And against a good defense, it's a bit overwhelming for him.
Off the play action, back pedals, delivers underneath, but they are all over. Tight end there, Tyndall.
And there's just nothing that's threatening this defense downfield. They're sitting back with 2 safeties, nothing at all. So it allows these linebackers and the safeties to let them hit these little dinks and dunks and then just rally. Let them make the catch. Use your athletic ability.
Well, they're 3 for 12 on 3rd down, and 5 of Georgia's 6 sacks have come on 3rd down.
Is the pressure going to come from out here, or is the pressure going to come from the backers?
Then Jay Dixon, hadn't had a touch tonight, is now in the game at running back. And false start. Now it's going to get even tougher on 3rd down, Kirk. They didn't hear the whistle, ended up knocking down the quarterback.
Caught a break there on the false start. Dabo's upset because they hit his quarterback.
They did, they didn't hear the whistle.
Yeah.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 71, 5-yard penalty.
I mean, is this just a great opponent? Should Tigers fans be extremely alarmed with this offensive line going forward?
The offensive line was the question coming into this year and after that Ohio State game, and it continues to be the concern. You got to build continuity, and you got to find some guys that can handle a pass rush. The thing is, how often are they going to see this kind of defensive line and linebackers the rest of the season? in the ACC.
The third down was a nightmare in that game against the Buckeyes that you mentioned, and has been again tonight. Now they need 9. Allen comes in motion, 2 by 2. Uiagalelei from the pocket delivers downfield, and running free is Ngata, and that's the huge play they needed. They were in Georgia territory.
Yeah, a great job by Ngata getting off the coverage there by Kendrick, but it was the offensive line. We keep being critical of the line. They're not helping out. That time, Georgia doesn't blitz. They just bring 3. It allows the offensive line to give the big fella enough time. And the one receiver that's been able to get some separation is Ngata, and he comes up with a clutch catch on 3rd down.
Yeah, his 7th tonight, that one for 44 yards. Dixon, the veteran of this running back core, waited a long time to get involved tonight, scoots for another 1st down.
And also just good vision. That play was designed as an inside zone play, and it was just taken away. Remember how tough it is? We talk about the run between the tackles. He's trying to get the ball up in the middle, but right away he sees he can't get in there, but he bounces it outside of Walker Parks, the right tackle, and he's got speed. So the vision and the speed, one of the better runs of the game after that big completion to Ngata. They follow it up with a nice run that time by Dixon.
That's their longest run tonight of 10. Pump fake to the edge, throw across the middle. It's high. Gathering it in is Allen. The ball looked like it was deflected.
He's trying to get him to chase Dixon, try to get those linebackers out of position, and then work back to the middle. And Chris, you're right. I think that ball was deflected, trying to work it back over across the middle where those backers had left to try to chase down the fake. But good focus and concentration by Davis Allen to get the 8 yards.
Tigers starting to get some rhythm now. Chunks of yardage, finally. 2nd and 2, out quickly. Catch made on the edge by Ladson. Speedy receiver takes his shot. He'll move the 6 again to the 20.
That time you saw Brini on a blitz. It's actually exactly what Clemson wanted. He came from the field to the left. There he is right there. He's coming on the blitz. Get it out quick, which they do. It's 2-on-2. You got to make better blocks. You got to give Ladson a chance. Give Kendrick, a former Clemson Tiger, credit getting off of that block and making a tackle just for a short gain. They pick up a 1st down, but it could have been a big gain with 2-on-2 out there.
This time, plenty of time. Uiagalelei shows the arm strength and an absolute wrestling match. Ringo just tackled Ladson in the end zone.
That's a true freshman out on an island. And as you said, I don't think that ball had a chance to Ladson, but his instincts were to just try to bring the receiver down, which is not good to do, obviously, in coverage.
It's a tough matchup on the edge.
Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
So Clemson marching deep into the red zone for the first time tonight. Progressive pylon cam shows you another angle, and that's a nice takedown. It's 2 points.
They've moved the ball. Now you have to punch it in. You got to give 9.5 minutes to go. Doesn't it feel like they're down 30? It's 10-0. It's 10-0 at 9.5 minutes to go.
It moved at 82 yards. Fake it to Dixon. Uiagalelei has to just throw it away again.
Smart.
Nothing but traffic. 2 receivers next to each other. 2 DBs and Smith, who had the pick 6, came under pressure that time.
Little smoke and mirrors. You got Justin Ross going in motion. Everything's covered. That's a great decision. Great decision. Instead of trying to force something and trying to be impatient, I got to try to force the throw in. Uiagalelei that time just throws it away to live for this next down.
He's a big dude. We haven't seen many design quarterback runs. We're at the 5-yard line.
I keep asking, especially down here. How many times Deshaun, Taj Boyd, Trevor, down here, that's what they did. QB run.
Instead, he drops back from the pocket, throws a slant into traffic. It's broken up nicely. It was Brini stepping in front of Ladson. It'll be 3rd and goal.
That is really good coverage by the senior. kind of playing him from the inside out. And as soon as he got to that back line, Brini gets his head turned, waiting for that ball to be thrown, and gets inside underneath him so he doesn't have pass interference and sees that football. Man, that was good.
One of those crucial potential 4-point plays. Can the Tigers find the end zone? Empty backfield. Georgia defense all spread out. No pressure on Uyunglele at first. They bring pressure late, and he just chucks it out of the end zone. Excellent, excellent job by the Dogs in tight after giving up the big plays.
They're putting the flag up, but I think it might have been a shoe. Looked like a flag, but I think it's just a shoe from the Clemson wide receiver. You're right, Chris. Georgia hunkers down.
Sure did.
Inside that, right about the 5-yard line.
They just spread across the field.
Yeah, and the plays there again. You taken away QB run. Georgia didn't even think about having to defend that. Makes it really tough to try to throw the ball against that group, that secondary.
B.T. Potter from 22 to get the Tigers on the board. Does his job. Not what they were looking for. 10 plays, 82 yards, but it's back to a 7-point game. 9:08 to play in Charlotte.
The Dukes Mayo Classic on ABC is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Zaxby's, featuring fresh-made chicken tenders, wings, and salads.
Pumped up for Ames, Iowa. Kirk, college game day built by the Home Depot. Set there to set the stage for that in-state rivalry, Hawkeyes and Cyclones, a top 20 matchup.
Yeah, I think Iowa State, just one of those things they had to get through this week to get to next week's showdown, a big rivalry game. And the Hawkeyes, boy, they look great. Word go today on both sides of the ball. That'll be a huge matchup in Ames.
From Taj Boyd, Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence, Kelly Bryant when he was the quarterback briefly as well. Quarterback runs a huge part. Quarterback weighs 250 pounds. They had first and goal at the 5. Yeah. It's been a huge part of the offense. That's why I keep asking you.
For 10 years. First series, I was like, how are they going to use him running the ball? We haven't seen it at all tonight, especially once you get inside the 10-yard line. Georgia's playing all that man coverage. Nobody's accounting for the quarterback.
Well, Sunday night baseball, part of the Labor Day weekend sports calendar in San Francisco. Now 2 teams in the LA or NL West battle it out. Dodgers, Giants, a great rivalry since the beginning of time, since they are both in the New York area. It's all presented by Taco Bell, 7 Eastern, also on the app.
I know you're big with tennis these last few weeks. I'm big with baseball. I'm a Reds fan,
yep. And
it's been a long time since I've been watching meaningful baseball in the month of September. Reds, for all of you that are concerned, they won 7-4 tonight. They're a half game up on the Padres in the last wild card spot, so keep an eye on that.
I'm sure the fans listening tonight were absolutely riveted winning that Reds score. They demanded it.
They had to have it.
Yeah.
Had to have it.
Yeah. All right, Georgia back to work, but now the lead's just 7. Cook is the back. And Daniels, nothing doing. Tried to flip it out there on the edge. Mitchell.
Can't get the ball downfield. We keep talking about how Clemson can't get the ball downfield. Georgia's had that same problem. Andrew Booth on one side. On that side, Mario Goodrich.
And George Pickens, ACL in the spring. He'll be able to play this year, but not for a while. Dominic Blaylock also an ACL. He's closer to playing. He's been playing with the scout team that couldn't go tonight. And you're really seeing the lack of a difference maker. You mentioned Kyrus Jackson hasn't quite looked himself with the knee brace. Pressure on second down. They flip it short. Smith makes the catch, gets out across the 30. Third down coming up.
Man, that's a tough ask by James Skowski. You get the ball at the Smith. We just talked about difference makers. They feel that Arian Smith will become that. He's a freshman, 6 feet, 185 pounds. Talking world-class speed, like 10-100 type of speed. Skowski's out there in the flat trying to catch up with him.
That one is fast.
That is flat. That's world-class.
Hadn't gotten loose tonight. Georgia 4 for 11 on third down. They try to throw it short, and blowing up the play on the edge beautifully is Booth. What a play, 4th down.
Well, it's not just a tackle, Chris. It was the anticipation and the reading of the play. He's able to get by a potential block of Burton, number 7, because he saw this and read this so quickly. See how he shoots right there? Gets underneath Burton. Burton never had a chance. So he makes the tackle, but it was the recognition, the quick read, and how quick he was able to make a decision to get up there.
It was a quick drive. Dogs not able to eat much clock. We'll have to punt it away here. It's a low boot, but it drives Taylor all the way back inside the 25. And he's able to scoot forward for a return through the 35 as the tempers begin to flare on that far side in the Tigers bench.
There must have been a big hit there, a little hit towards the end. I think the reaction there from the bench, they're trying to get a call of a late hit on Taylor.
Or was it a horse collar?
I think it was just the fact that it was well after he was out of bounds.
Look.
Snappers down there trying to get down. Dean's down there, who's had a big night as a linebacker. Dean's up hitting him.
Dean hit him in the head. We haven't had much.
Dabo is fired.
Chippy department. I was right in front of him.
Yeah.
This game has been played, I'd say, at a pretty clean level. Fierce, hard hitting, not a lot of chippy stuff.
The punt, therefore there's no running into the kicker. Result of play, 1st down.
They did get close to it. I guess they actually got a piece of that low football. Dabo cannot believe there wasn't a personal foul from this SEC crew. So how close they came to getting that. I don't see a tip there.
They didn't touch it.
They did bump him.
They didn't bump the ball, though.
There's a review. They knocked Camarda down, but the official said the punt was tipped, so that would have waved up the flag. It was not tipped by our angles. They're reviewing. Bill Lamagna, the review should confirm that it wasn't tipped. This would be the 5-yard variety. There wouldn't be a 1st down.
That's correct. They've announced that it was running into the kicker, no running into the kicker because of the tip. Replay can review. The ball was not tipped, so we're talking about a 5-yard penalty.
So Georgia could take that 4th and 2 and have the punt again.
The center judge right there makes the call that it's tipped. It wasn't really that close, and he's there with referee Jason Autry.
Dabo
still wants the late hit. Not be improved.
No, he still wants the late hit. He's been working on the officials since we left for break.
I think he's got an argument for the late hit out of bounds.
Dean hit him pretty late.
Yeah.
I do too, but it's smart they're talking to because they'll be given the option of punting again.
Yeah, you want to punt again, give him 4th and 2. He's still.
When it happens right in front of the coach and you don't call it, you're going to get that.
No touching of the punt.
SEC.
Therefore, running into the kicker, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. It will be 4th down and 2 yards from the 37-yard line.
So
this is what Bill was talking about. I don't think it's so much the snapper. It's this hit right there from Dean. I mean, he's 2.5, 3 yards out of bounds.
I think he's clearly out of bounds. It's a shame they didn't pick that up because that's a major.
And that's 15 yards. Well, here's the question.
It would have been offsetting.
It would have.
No.
What would the call
be? Would not be offsetting because that's a dead ball foul. So you'd have the live ball foul for the running into the kicker, and then after that, you go forward 5, then you're going to go back 15.
Yeah.
Right, but it wouldn't be a Clemson ball with the improved field position. It would be a re-kick.
Yeah.
No, you'd be back 15 yards from basically the 33-yard line.
And of course, targeting could have come into play there had they chosen to review that. Involves Dean. Is that a monster game tonight? So Camarda out again. Nine penalties on Georgia tonight. 6 on Clemson. Tigers peel back. Don't come after Camarda. Try to set up a return. And the fair catch is made by Taylor back at the 25-yard line. So DJ Uiagalelei, he's had a tough night, Kirk. You said he's been flustered. Hasn't had the kind of game he hoped, but it's a one-score game midway in the fourth quarter. A chance to make up for all that with some late heroics.
Absolutely. And you think the more he's seeing in the defense, the more he's starting to understand what they're doing. But keep in mind, he needs help. I mean, I just keep waiting for him to use his frame at 250 pounds. And if they're playing man or he's got a lane to run, take off and help himself. But we've not seen much of that at all tonight.
Delivers far side, broken up, and a flag comes in late.
The reason a flag comes in there is he never really located the football.
Defense, number 9. Ball replaced at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Some mere speed.
Trying to get behind him. Ball's thrown as a back shoulder fade. I didn't see a whole lot of contact there. You almost wonder if it's a makeup call because Dabo's over there working him over on the sideline.
Been a lot more contact than another route tonight.
Is saying, what the heck there?
Dog show pressure. Youngale rolls and has to lob it away. No chance to make a play on the edge. They went back testing speed again to the back Dixon.
So again, this is the inexperience. You know, when you think you're going to hit a wheel route down the sideline. You get excited about it. You think it's going to work, and you just lock in. You lock in. You lock in. You telegraph, and then you float it. Lucky he threw that away where the defender could not make a play on the ball because floating it up there, the safety easily, if that ball's in play, makes an interception. But he brought the safety over by just staring it down the whole time.
And Ngata is set out to the right. He's been the key target tonight. And they try to get it to him in traffic, and he makes the catch. If you're the Dogs, you're looking for number 10. He's been the playmaker tonight.
Yeah, and one way to try to capitalize, Tony Elliott's saying, you know what? Instead of trying to defend these guys, blitzing these backers, why don't we just bring a receiver, line him up from the outside, and just bring him into the middle where they're vacating by blitzing and just throw these little passes into the middle of that defense. And Ngata's almost built like a tight end with his size.
Strong hands, too. His catches have been in traffic tonight. 3rd and 2 from the pocket. Short pass. And fighting and stretching the ball for a first down there is Braden Galloway. So Clemson on the move now in Georgia territory by the nose of the football.
Good recognition that time by DJ. They blitzed the linebacker Walker, who was right across from Galloway. Looked like he was in coverage. He ends up blitzing. Safety was way off the line, so a little outcut gives him a chance to get the ball out quickly with that soft coverage and get a first down.
Dropping back and pressured and dropped again is Uyunglele. They get him for a 7th time tonight.
They are so strong in the middle. Jordan Davis, who's lined up here, watch how he just uses his power. 6'6", 340 pounds. He rips right through 2 offensive linemen. And what I love about a 340-pound guy is that he was relentless in his effort. He did not give up on it. Actually attacked the football and almost got it away. But it wasn't just him being big and strong. It was athletic ability and a never-give-up attitude there that got that sack.
That symbolizes his skill set, doesn't it? Now, the way Uyunglele takes off finally.
There you go.
Zion run a little delayed. He bulldozes to the 45-yard line. They'll need 5 on 3rd down.
Those linebackers are thinking, what? 5's running? We haven't seen that all game. And again, if you're wondering how they're going to use him in the running game, you would think because at 250, he's not going to be Trevor Lawrence, who can get close some ground in a hurry with that gait or those strides, or Deshaun. It's more almost like a power runner, like you just saw right there.
Getting down inside of 5 minutes. Is this 4-down territory? 2 plays here to get the 5 yards?
At 5 minutes to go, 3 timeouts, I'd be surprised.
Here comes the pressure. They pick it up. Ball out. Catch made. No, incomplete. Galloway had his hands on it, could not hold it. And Scene was there to make a clutch play. And now it's decision time for Dabo. 4th and 5.
Give Scene a lot of credit, man. That was a big-time play. Galloway is a very talented receiver as a tight end. and he does a nice little whip route, comes back underneath, and as soon as he has the ball in his hand, 16's able to get up there and knock it right there with his hand. Gets his hand on the ball to dislodge it. He looks like he is going to go for it.
Yeah, Sweeney putting some chips in the middle of the table here. They need 5. Heavy pressure, ball out, incomplete. They came flying up from the secondary, all 3 levels that time. Quarterback had no time. Dogs take over.
Yeah, they brought Scene. They brought the 2 middle linebackers. You're right, Chris. They dialed it up here, here, and here. Overmatched the offensive line. Just not enough guys to pick up that pressure. And he's trying to hit the crosser, and that pressure got the best of him again.
If you enjoy the defensive side, if you love a pass rush, man, you are in heaven tonight. It's been ferocious. After the 4th down stop, the Dogs take over. 4:49 left. Sitting on a 7-point lead. Georgia's offense has produced only a field goal tonight. White bangs straight forward.
Time and time again, Brent Venables and the defense have had to step up. They've had to come up with an answer. They've had to come up with a stop. And they've been able to do that. I mean, this game felt like it was getting away from Clemson. It felt like, well, they're going to get too far behind. But this defense has really answered the call. You mentioned it's 10-3, and we keep kind of kidding at breaks. It feels like it's a lot more than that. But Georgia's only scored, they had a pick 6 and a field goal. That's it. So can the Tigers do it one more time as we get close to 4 minutes to go in this game and try to get the ball back to Uiagalelei?
The old man Skalski directing traffic out there. White, can he get the edge? Well, he's knocked down at the 46. It'll be 3rd and short. Here's the only touchdown Georgia scored. Christopher Smith jumping the route. 74-yard pick 6 return.
3rd down play, blitz coming. Smith is a veteran anticipating a throw right at the sticks, which is exactly what he got on a glance route. Jumped it, eyes up, and that is the difference in the game and the only touchdown that we have seen tonight.
Talked about that Clemson defense, Kirk. Georgia only needs a yard. They can pick up 3 feet. They can keep chewing on this clock.
With that sugar huddle, quick huddle here.
Play clock down at 1. They snap it. On the end around, it was Cook. And they do move the sticks.
It's been one of those kind of nights. If you just tuned in and watching, you've been watching a lot of other games and people are scoring points. I mean, we're going sugar huddle, jet sweep, fake the sweep the other way, go jet sweep back the other way, and get that half yard, move the sticks.
Even though Georgia got the 1st down, Clemson's going to spend timeout right here. 3:15 to go. Venables defense, maybe one more chance to get him off the field, get the football back. Reminder, in this slot tomorrow night, Tallahassee. The Irish come calling. On ABC, also on the ESPN app, and then Monday night, Louisville and Ole Miss. Rebels a 10-point favorite in Atlanta.
Interested to see Jack Cohn coming over from Wisconsin, where he was a starter and last year lost his job to Graham Mertz, who ended up becoming the guy in Madison. So he left, transfer portal, went to Notre Dame, won the job, and we'll get a chance to see how he's fitting into that offense. Got a lot of really, really good playmakers around him. Kyron Williams in that backfield, good receivers. I think one of the best tight ends in the country, Michael Mayer. Against the Florida State team, Mike Norvell trying to change that culture, getting things going in Tallahassee.
Big bodies up there. And going to play some smash mouth football to bleed the clock. That's Kendall Milton. Clock rolling. It'll be inside of 3 minutes.
Yeah, holding on to those 2 timeouts. Venables almost halfway out of the field, communicating, making sure everybody's on the same page. May have been a busted gap. And right now they are just trying to shoot gaps. Brazee was there. He beat his man, got into the backfield, but a pretty good job of getting around him to get some positive yards to set up a 2nd and 6. And Daniels in no hurry, obviously, trying to milk that clock.
I've been standing in the huddle, watching the play clock tick down inside of 7. Now they'll run up there quickly. Once again, end around. Cook makes a cut, and he's knocked down about a yard short of the marker. They're also kind of in fringe field goal range for Podlesny if they want to try a long one to pretty much ice the game. That would be in play here.
These tight ends are working from Georgia, doing a really good job. Both Fitzpatrick and Brooke Bowers helping set the edge on some of these outside runs.
Let's go back to Kevin Nagandi, get an update from the Rose Bowl, your UCLA Bruins against LSU.
There's no way they're still hanging in there. Oh. Kevin, I keep saying you got to get in front of these bold predictions. You can't react to UCLA beating LSU and going, what's going on over there in Brentwood? These boys are playing ball. You got to try to.
It's Westwood.
Or Westwood, not Brentwood, Westwood. But you got to take a little bit of a chance.
Well, you did.
Once in a while, you stumble into one.
Put it out there. Westwood, Brentwood.
Westwood.
But tonight's in Pasadena. All right, here's a big one.
I actually saw some UCLA fans in the stadium, which was exciting. That's good.
Need a yard. Move the sticks again. White is the back. He's got it. And he's got a first down. Running physically, banging down to the 25. And the Georgia fans and the Bulldog players can feel it now.
Boy, Skowski just missed getting into the backfield. Watch him at middle linebacker. He shoots and just misses. And really good cut by White. Felt him there in the hole, gets around him, and then takes on Spector, gets off of him and Goodrich. Hard running that time by White.
It's taken a long time for the Dogs to get this running game going, but they have come up with this 4-minute offense opportunity to pound away, to kill this clock and get the W, and so far up to it. Again, using almost the entire play clock, and then now a little too close for comfort, so they will take a timeout, minute 44 to go. Wow, and the intensity, the energy in this place, the collision of two heavyweights, inexperience on both sides, a lot of mistakes on both sides. The defense have had their way, but first of all, it's fun to be in a close game with you.
It's fun to be in a close game. I don't think we had one last year.
No, we did not.
No, really, the whole season. We didn't have a close game.
Really?
What'd you say the average?
I remember.
It was every time.
26 points per game was
So, hey, we got a one-possession
margin.
game, and it's just both these teams knew that it was going to be a battle. Both these teams knew when you take on a top-5 opponent, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be a grind. There are going to be some tough moments. No matter what happens, you win, you lose, you're going to grow and develop and keep growing. And Clemson, man, if they lose this game, they've got to do a good job of getting their offensive line right. So much to learn from with their young quarterback and how they get better around him.
Of course, the fact is Clemson's going to be heavily favored in all of their ACC games after this. That's why it's not an elimination game. This is White. But they don't want to hear about that. There's so much work to do, and this has just been such an un-Clemson-like offensive performance. And for Uiagalelei, who came into this season with a lot of hype, a lot of praise from his coaches, there's so much to like about him, not what he expected from himself and what the Clemson fans thought was going to happen tonight.
No, not at all. I mean, he came in highly decorated, could have gone to any school in the country, and ends up coming all the way across the country to go to Clemson to become that next guy after Trevor Lawrence. But I'll tell you this, I don't know if what you're saying is if I agree with. I don't feel that they might be heavily favored, but I don't think it's just throw your helmet out on the field kind of year for Clemson with this offense.
I didn't say that.
I think there's going to be some games, especially when they go on the road, with this offensive line and with this young quarterback who's got a tremendous upside, still trying to find a running back. I think they're...
We're at NC State?
Could be.
At Syracuse on a Friday?
Could be anywhere. I mean,
okay.
This offensive line right now, with this offense, I know Georgia's great, but I don't know, man.
But one more first down would do it. White tries to make a play, lowers the shoulder, gets down inside the 20. Tigers cannot stop the clock here. And Dogs won't have to snap this till about 50 seconds to go for this third down play.
Yeah, we're talking a lot about Clemson, but we got to focus on Georgia too. I mean, it looks like they got a chance to to probably win this game. And JT Daniels, they're going to continue to get better with this offense. This defense that Georgia has, going to keep them in every game they play, going to make them, they're going to be a team that's going to be a heavy favorite in every game that they play. And you would expect them to have a chance to get to Atlanta and have another shot down the road, more likely to play Alabama in Atlanta.
We got UAB next week. Then they got 5 SEC teams in a row that they have dominated in recent years. It includes a road game at Auburn, and then, of course, the cocktail party.
Yep.
And I don't know if they're heavily favored in that, but they look good, and they look like the clear favorites to once again lead the country in rush yards allowed. Clemson has a grand total of 2 rushing yards when you subtract the sack yardage.
What
2.
I like about Georgia's defense is I like how Dan Lanning and his personality with Kirby Smart, you could just feel the confidence that they have in their front. And they've got some special leadership with this group. Wyatt up front. Davis gets a lot of attention, but Wyatt's leadership, attitude from Nolan Smith, Dean's leadership, Adam Anderson's playmaking ability on the back end. You have Seen and Smith at safety. I don't know. There's just a lot of intangibles and kind of love for one another that make this defense going to be really fun to watch all year.
So they can run this play. Obviously, if they make the first down, it's game over. Even if they don't, play clock will wind all the way down. They would choose to either try to kick a field goal to put the game away or run some kind of 4th down play and leave Clemson almost no time.
Yeah.
White. Forget the strategizing. Don't need to worry about that as he barrels for a first down, and the Dogs are going to come to Charlotte, the Tigers' backyard, and get a huge momentum-building W. The hype will begin to build for this team. They could move up to number 2 right behind Alabama, even though the offense didn't find the end zone.
I'll tell you, man.
Kirby, you'd be satisfied with this one.
You take on a matchup like this in college football, it is so good for the game to see the willingness to play in games like this. And Clemson's going to fall back, but they're going to have a chance to regroup. But this is monumental for Georgia. A big win against a rival in Clemson in a top 5 matchup to start the season.
Not pretty, but gritty. And again, if you enjoy a ferocious pass rush, a lot to appreciate tonight from Kirby Smart's defense. They sacked Uiagalelei 7 times, harassed him a whole bunch of other times, influenced a lot of throws, and made him look mighty uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think that was the goal. As good as he's going to be, he's still a young guy, right? He's still trying to figure things out. And I think what happened last year is he came in against Boston College and he came in against Notre Dame, and he had so much experience around him that it made it just look like, oh, no problem. This is turnkey with a guy like this. And without Travis Etienne and without some of the offensive linemen, they're going to have to start from square one with him and build the offense around him and gain some confidence, because they did not run the football, and I think that had a lot to do with the predictability of the play calling.
JT Daniels did not light it up tonight, but he goes to 5-0 as a starter at Georgia. Now let's go down to Holly.
Well, we were ready, but now they're going to take a second to talk to Brent Venables and James Skalski. Kirby took his time saying some nice words to many of these players. And, Coach, for you built your career on defense. You know what good defense looks like. How do you describe what you saw out there tonight?
Aggressive, getting after it. You're either elite or you're not. And that's what we've been saying all camp. You're either elite or you're not. And tonight we played a really good game defensively. And look, guys, Clemson's got an unbelievable team. But I'm so proud for our university to come in this atmosphere in their backyard where they play their ACC championship game and come here and win this game. A lot of resiliency and a lot of composure.
There will be hype after this game for your group, but what does this win actually mean reality-wise for you?
Just like we said if we had lost. Everything's still in front of us, but we got a really tough game next week against a team that's really good, and we're going to have to spend a lot of time getting better to be able to be the team we want to be.
Your offense extended a drive when they had to in game-winning fashion. What do you say about your offensive performance?
Connection, resiliency, composure, and toughness. That's what this team's about, and they believe in that. They love each other.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Those are 4 great qualities to have, aren't they?
We just talked about, when we were wrapping up the broadcast, we just talked about and witnessing the team. You can just sense how much they like each other. And remember you talked about what's the difference in defensive football this year from last year? It's that stuff right there. That's why you play good defense.
6 different Dogs got sacks tonight. That makes it sweet. And big Jordan Davis, one of those guys in the middle there, is with Holly now.
Well, this man was the anchor. How sweet was it for you to get this kind of defensive performance and win in your hometown?
It's amazing. We came out here, we wanted to make a statement, and we just came out here, we played our game, we worked on our technique. This is something we've been working for all summer. So when we come out here and play the game we're supposed to play, especially in the hometown, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
Sometimes first games don't go to script. How do you guys think you did from really being focused and being mentally prepared tonight?
Well, we was always mentally prepared. We came in here, we have a business trip, we have a job to do. Some things don't fall our way, but we adjust, we get back to where we need to do, and we get back to our technique saves us at the end of the day.
I saw Clemson trying to defend you with 2 and 3 players on almost every snap. How did you have the endurance to get this win and finish this game?
It's something that I expect. I always say 2 on me, somebody's free. So, I free up a linebacker or I free up another D lineman so they can eat. So it's amazing that they have that type of respect for me. But, at the end of the day, I just want to do whatever I can to help the team.
Everybody ate tonight in Charlotte, your hometown. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
That was a feast. You're right, Holly. They smothered the running game. They got after DJ. Christopher Smith with a 74-yard pick six was the difference.
What an engaging
He's a great guy.
defensive tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, his size comes over to talk to Holly, and he's just like a pro sitting there talking to Holly post-game presser. Boy, he is it's 99. Keep an eye on him all year, right in the middle of that defense.
Defense only had to play 60 snaps against that Clemson offense. That was a relief. He looks like he could play another game right now, big man, huh? It was fun. We hope you enjoyed it. Full-fledged college football coming back. We appreciate the fact that we can have Mark Amento, Mike Leck, Darren Brown back in the booth. It was produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Derek Mobley. Great to have all of our crew back together. Kirk, enjoy it next week. We'll see you in Happy Valley in a couple of weeks for the Whiteout game, Nittany Lions and the Auburn Tigers. Tomorrow on ABC, Notre Dame and Florida State, now except on the West Coast. Stay tuned for your local news. For our entire ESPN family tonight, so long for Charlotte, 10-3, Georgia.